For over half a century, there have been rumours of secretive facilities and bases hidden deep below the surface of the sprawling North American landscape. This week, we examine the most infamous of these alleged sites, an underground base believed to be situated near the town of Dulce in New Mexico, a modern-day mystery which lies deep beneath the mesa. Bringing his patrol car to a halt, Gabriel Valdez stared out through the driver's side window at the dark mass lying not far from the side of the road, and then cursed under his breath. For the briefest of moments, he tried to convince himself that the most sensible course of action would be to simply drive on, away from this place, and to ignore what he had seen. And yet his curiosity urged him to exit the vehicle, to conduct a closer inspection. And confirm what his instincts and fears were telling him. With a heavy sigh, the patrolman used his radio to inform the dispatcher of his location, before opening the driver's side door and making his way across the scrub. Deep down, he had known what he would find before he even reached the carcass. A cursory inspection confirmed that this cadaver had been left just like the others he had attended upon. A series of diamond-shaped indentations had been carved into various points of the hide, with several layers of skin having apparently been removed in an expert fashion. The creature's eyes, nose and tongue were all missing, despite there being no sign of any wider animal predation having taken place. It was almost certain that the reproductive glands would be absent, as well as a number of other key internal organs, all removed in what presented as a clean and sterile manner. As he stood regarding the lack of any tracks or disturbed foliage on the ground surrounding the animal's corpse, Valdez now became aware of the low rumble of an approaching vehicle. Looking up from the grisly scene, he caught sight of a 5-ton truck painted in army camouflage, heading along the highway towards him. The transport began to slow as it approached the point where he'd left his patrol car, its occupants returning the questioning gaze he had offered as they passed, before it pulled away at greater speed. As he watched the dust cloud thrown up by its passing dissipate, Valdez found himself experiencing a whole host of emotions. Confusion, a small degree of fear, but most of all, he felt anger, directed towards those he blamed for the death of this creature, for the deaths of all the slain animals he had found in recent months, and the wider falsehood that their slaughter had been used to perpetuate. A lie fabricated for one purpose and one purpose only: to keep local residents away from the neighbouring mesa, for fear that something resided there which neither he nor any other earthly power could hope to protect them from. The town of Dulce in New Mexico would not come into existence until the end of the 19th century, when US authorities ordered the local Apache tribe to settle itself permanently in one place. The area's Native American population duly complied with this instruction, forming the Jicarilla Apache Reservation, around which the town would eventually be established. For the next century and a half, the inhabitants of this small backwater community would live their lives in relative peace, a short distance from the slopes of the adjoining Archuleta Mesa. There had always been tales of high strangeness associated with the region, from weird light anomalies witnessed in the night sky to Bigfoot-like creatures seen wandering the scrub. But by the late 1970s, the looming shadow cast by this towering mountain peak would begin to take on a sinister connotation, with the discovery of a series of bizarre cattle mutilations. Following several complaints by ranchers and farmers to the local police department, insisting that someone or something was slaughtering their livestock, an officer by the name of Gabriel Valdez was ordered to investigate the matter. But after visiting the affected properties, the investigator often returned to his superiors with far more questions than answers. Usually, only one animal in the herds which were targeted had been affected, and it had been dispatched in a manner which seemed to discount the involvement of any natural predator. Although key sensory and internal organs had been removed from the carcasses, there were never any indications that the flesh had been consumed by a potential attacker. In fact, these bodies would remain untouched by scavengers for weeks after the event, a phenomenon previously unheard of within this harsh and unrelenting environment. The report submitted by Officer Valdez also highlighted the lack of disturbance in the soft and sandy ground surrounding the remains, offering no hint as to who or what was responsible. Due to the discovery of shattered bones in some cases, his suggestion that the bodies had been dropped from a great height was something he would go on to be questioned over at some length. It soon became apparent to his superiors that Officer Valdez had no fixed agenda, and was not promoting any theory in particular regarding the deaths of these animals. Instead, his report simply documented everything he had encountered during his investigation, and demonstrated that he had discounted all of the most obvious explanations for the deaths. But situations would soon unfold, setting in motion a chain of events which would quash any hopes the investigator might have had in maintaining a calm and rational assessment of the incidents plaguing his community. During the summer of 1986, a resident named Jerry Julian approached the local police department to report that someone had attempted to abduct her from her home while she was sleeping. Julian explained to the attending officers that the evening prior, she and her husband had driven out in their flatbed truck to the slopes of the Archuleta Mesa to do a bit of stargazing. After a short time, Julian's attention had been drawn to one star in particular, which seemed to be moving through the night sky. As she and her husband looked on in wonder, the celestial body in question suddenly began to descend from the heavens, landing on the ground a short distance away. Gradually, the bright light before them began to diminish, revealing a metallic structure from which a small set of steps descended. Two small figures then slowly made their way down the metallic walkway, before they set off on foot in the direction of the married couple. With a frightened cry, Julian's husband had grabbed her by the shoulders, bundled her into his pickup, and frantically attempted to start the engine. She continued to stare back in terror at the two squat figures slowly advancing upon the vehicle as the engine repeatedly failed to turn over. It was only when the strangers were mere meters away from the rear of the truck, reaching out as if to take hold of it, that the motor suddenly fired into life and allowed the couple to escape. Later that night, having decided not to report the matter, the couple had gone to bed, only for Julian to awaken in the early hours of the morning due to a strange tugging sensation. Looking down towards the bottom of her bed, she could see two shadowy figures, identical to those she had witnessed emerging from the strange craft earlier that night. Suddenly realizing she could feel her sheets being pulled off the bed to expose her lower body, Julian attempted to scream, but nothing more than a hoarse and raspy sound had emerged from her mouth. This quiet whimper, however, had been sufficient to awaken her sleeping husband, at which point the two figures had immediately vanished. When questioned further by federal agents who had been tasked with attending the incident, Julian claimed the existence of these entities was common knowledge amongst the native community. She even went as far to describe a large hole bored deep into the mountain face, hidden away much further up the slopes of the mesa, which she claimed the creatures used to access the surface. Around the same time that the investigators were taking Jerry Julian's statement, separate claims of a possible alien base concealed beneath the Archuleta Mesa were being directed towards the local authorities. Security staff at the Kirtland Air Force Base began to receive a string of detailed allegations from a local businessman, stating that he had documented mysterious activity both above and below the mountain chain. Paul Benowitz was already well known to the senior officers at the base, following reports he'd submitted to them of strange lights in the sky above his home in the Four Valleys district of Albuquerque. He now claimed that in addition to the lights he had filmed, he had intercepted mysterious energy emissions and radio transmissions, and that these were emanating from beneath the mesa. The businessman had also taken to conducting regular flights across the mountains in his private aircraft, photographing anything he deemed out of the ordinary. Invited onto the base to speak in person, he showed them photos of what he believed to be paths and doorways cut into the rock, miles away from any existing road or highway. He drew maps of alleged air vents and access points, and cited interviews he had conducted with the owners of mutilated cattle and locals who claimed to have been abducted in the vicinity of the mesa. But the more detail that the impassioned Benowitz chose to add to this ad hoc briefing, the less credibility he was extended by his audience. He began to panic, citing discussions with shadowy government agents, claiming that the extraterrestrials living below the mountain were one of 3 separate species to have visited Earth. But it was the assertion that a whole floor of the alleged alien base contained vats filled with human organs and body parts harvested by the alien visitors, which saw him ridiculed and finally escorted off the base. Shortly after this, as the businessman's mental health and coherence continued to deteriorate, he suffered a nervous breakdown. On the advice of doctors, his family applied to have him committed to a psychiatric facility in 1988, seemingly removing any shred of credibility his initial reports to the military may have contained. But perhaps the most amazing aspect of the stories told by Paul Benowitz is that they are by no means the only such detailed allegations of a secret base concealed beneath the town of Dulce. During the mid-1990s, a former Air Force technician by the name of Thomas Costello went public, confirming that there was indeed a hidden facility underneath the Archuleta Mesa. More incredible still was that Costello claimed that this was not an extraterrestrial base, but one constructed by the United States government, where aliens and human scientists worked together on genetic experiments. Costello related how he had been a US Air Force photographer based at Nellis in Las Vegas, but in the early 1970s had been transferred to the secret Dulce base in New Mexico. Whilst there, he was responsible for maintaining the facility's extensive surveillance network and for documenting some of the work being conducted in the laboratories. Costello even went as far as to offer photographic evidence with his testimony of what he purported to be some form of alien hybrid suspended in a vat of fluid in one of the labs. But barely had journalists time to digest his claims that the Dulce base was just one of many such facilities linked by a vast underground railroad network before he disappeared from public view altogether. However, his claims would later resurface when a further whistleblower came forward, this time from within the ranks of the Dulce Police Department itself. A former reservation police detective named Avery Tafoya, who had been researching the testimony of Jerry Julian, related how he had stumbled across the reports written by federal investigators assigned to the case. To his amazement, in addition to the events described by the victim, they had included detailed drawings of a sprawling military facility, exactly where Julian claimed the hidden opening in the mountain was situated. The drawings depicted that the base had 7 different levels, including accommodation blocks, storage facilities and laboratories. It was also serviced by an underground train network similar to that alleged by Thomas Costello. Armed with this information, Tafoya stated that he had made a number of attempts to climb the mountain and see the facility for himself, only to be defeated by adverse weather conditions on each and every occasion. Not to be deterred, he had then used a thermal camera to document strange apertures and vents built into the rock of the mountain, and recorded what sounded like large machines being operated beneath the slopes. Over the years, the United States military has gone to great lengths in denying that Dulce Base exists, or that it's part of a network of hidden underground facilities. And it would seem that part of their strategy to do so has involved a concerted effort to undermine the credibility of those making the claims. The background of Thomas Costello remains shrouded in uncertainty, with attempts to locate and review his military service records seeming to suggest he never existed. Photographs associated with his testimony have proven to be forgeries, and no formal interview with him has ever been unearthed. Members of the intelligence community have also come forward and admitted to deliberately feeding false information to Paul Benowitz. It is alleged that having become uncomfortable with his obsession and surveillance of the secure Manzano weapons storage complex, the Air Force invented the fictional Dulce base in order to distract the businessman. They even claim to have placed machinery and fake air vents on the Archuleta Mesa for him to photograph, in order to convince him that a base existed there and draw him away from genuine military facilities. Gabriel Valdez himself has always refused to believe stories of a base at the Mesa, extraterrestrial or otherwise. Prior to his death in 2011, the former police officer told his son that he believed it was humans who had mutilated the cattle near the town, and not aliens. He cited secretive nuclear testing in and around New Mexico during the 1960s, claiming samples had secretly been removed from local cattle to test for radiation poisoning. There are equally detailed cases both for and against the existence of a base beneath the Archuleta Mesa, and the secretive work which is allegedly being conducted there. With so many stories, it is difficult to know which sources to trust. It is not beyond all possibility that the US government is in possession of secret underground military bases, constructed well away from prying eyes. But at the same time, Some of the claims attached to them seem so outlandish that they push any notion of their existence towards ridicule. However, throughout this episode, we have deliberately avoided the most detailed and impassioned evidence for such an underground structure at Dulce. That of a man who claimed he was a former worker at the secretive site and had survived a horrifying battle unfolding between human and extraterrestrial forces during the excavation of what would become the eventual facility there. Join us next week as we examine the testimony of one Phil Schneider. In our previous episode, we examined reports from various individuals who stated that there is a secret facility buried deep beneath the New Mexico town of Dulce. But we deliberately avoided the testimony of one man, who is arguably the most controversial figure in the allegations surrounding the possible existence of Dulce Base. A man who claimed he was the survivor of a war beneath the mesa. Having sought shelter behind an equipment crate of sufficient size, the lieutenant now tried to take stock of the situation. At least 3 members of his platoon were gone, their bodies charred beyond all recognition following exposure to the horrific weaponry employed by their opponents. Despite this, they had managed to push the enemy force deeper into the facility, as they had been ordered to do so, and if they could just secure the stairwell in front of them, the mission would be a success. Waving across the corridor, where 2 more of his team members were sheltering behind another crate, he began to issue a series of orders using hand signals. Moments later, the pair were up on their feet and heading towards the looming metal door, each tightly clutching a satchel charge. Their intention was clear. But before they could reach their objective, the door suddenly sprung wide open. A skeletal figure materialized from the darkness within, followed by a terrifying bright blue energy discharge from its weapon. The 2 soldiers did not even have time to cry out, as their bodies were engulfed in a ball of brilliant blue flame. Almost immediately, an infantryman further down the corridor, operating the platoon's M60 heavy machine gun, opened fire, shredding the attacker with a steady hail of gunfire. More soldiers then ran forwards, snatching up the discarded satchel charges and priming them, before hurling them in through the open doorway. There was an enormous explosion, immediately followed by a shower of dust and debris as the stairwell caved in, preventing their enemy from accessing this floor or any others which lay above them. leaving 2 of his men to cover the collapsed structure. The lieutenant and the remainder of his platoon made their way back up through the facility towards the main loading area. But upon his arrival, he was shocked to see that 2 further army trucks had arrived, discharging several more squads of soldiers wearing black uniforms, who hurried towards the corridors from which he and his men had just emerged. Turning to his commanding officer, he abruptly inquired as to what was taking place, who this unit were, and why they were now heading underground towards the lower levels. Curtly dismissed, he and his fellow Navy SEALs could only watch on as the mysterious soldiers continued to head deeper into the base, where so many US soldiers had already lost their lives in an effort to contain the marauding, extraterrestrial threat. During the summer of 1995, Phil Schneider gave a series of lectures across the United States, in which he went to great pains to highlight to his audience the dangers of what he was doing. He spoke of the murder of his close friend, which he alleged had been made to look like a suicide. Then he related various attempts on his own life and threats to harm his family in an effort to stop him from sharing confidential military secrets with the public. But Schneider explained that his love for his country superseded any thoughts for his personal safety, that the American people had a right to know the potential dangers which their government was hiding from them. He would open his talks by explaining how he came from a family of public servants, how his father had been a military officer who worked on the Manhattan Project. Then he would reveal to those present the fingers missing from his left hand, relating how he had lost them whilst fighting to regain control of a secret military installation from extraterrestrial attackers. Schneider would hold up bizarre-looking metals and minerals, claiming that they were products of experiments which had been kept hidden from the American people. He would then explain in great detail how there was a vast network of underground military bases beneath the surface of North America, linked together by miles and miles of magnetic train tracks. Finally, he would close his lectures by saying that when his time came, just like his friend, his murder would be made to look like a suicide, reiterating that he had no wish to end his own life. Less than a year later, the impassioned public speaker would indeed be found dead in his apartment. His death, perhaps unsurprisingly to anybody who had ever heard him speak, ultimately being ruled as suicide. Much as the former Air Force Sergeant Thomas Costello had done before him, Phil Schneider told anyone who would give him the time that there was a military base hidden deep beneath the Archuleta Mesa. But unlike the enigmatic Costello, Schneider chose to deliver his evidence in a far more public manner, speaking openly to roomfuls of interested people and fielding any questions they might have concerning his account. He described how, since the end of the Second World War, the United States government had been building a vast network of underground bases around the country. Schneider explained that to his knowledge, there were 129 deep underground military bases, or DUMBs, hidden beneath the plains, mesas, and mountain ranges of North America. 9 of these were clustered in close proximity to one another, located in and around Groom Lake, near the infamous Area 51 testing facility in Nevada. All of these bases were linked by a seemingly endless series of tunnels, which housed a maglev train line, allowing workers to travel between the locations at speeds of up to Mach 2. As he stood and summarized how these tunnels had been created and how each of the secret bases had been constructed, audiences found themselves visibly impressed by the level of technical detail Schneider used. Having listed his credentials as a geologist and structural engineer, he related how he had been brought onto the project to assist with the complicated and advanced construction methods being used. The maglev tunnels had not been drilled or blasted through the ground, but had instead been created using laser technology that vitrified and melted its way through the previously impenetrable rock. In order to create each base, 4 gaping holes were bored deep into the earth. Each separate floor was then blasted out of the rock before being linked up to these 4 gigantic corner shafts. And it was amidst the construction of one facility in New Mexico during the late 1970s that Phil Schneider became an unwitting participant in what would become known as the Dulce War. Schneider maintained that in August of 1979, construction on the Dulce base had begun to fall behind schedule due to issues relating to the drilling of one of the corner columns. The facility was being tunneled out beneath the southwest corner of the Archuleta Mesa, but every time the drilling team had attempted to pass a certain depth, they found that their machinery was mysteriously failing. In an effort to discover what was frustrating the drilling operation, Schneider and a Green Beret bodyguard had been lowered into the incomplete shaft via a crane. But as soon as he stepped out of the crane basket into what appeared to be a pre-existing cave network, he had instantly realized that something was very wrong. There was a bitter and unnatural stench in the air, as the drilling operation had now allowed ancient gases to escape from the void beneath, along with a mysterious and sooty residue on the unusually smooth walls of the caves. It was at this point that a tall and slender grey figure had suddenly stepped out of the shadows in front of him, carrying what appeared to be a weapon of some description. Utterly terrified by this creature's unearthly and intimidating appearance, Schneider had used his sidearm to kill it, only for 2 more to then emerge out of the darkness behind. Backing towards the crane basket and firing wildly, the engineer had managed to fell one of the pair, only for the other to then use its own weapon upon him in retaliation. Schneider was instantly consumed by an eerie blue light and felt a huge jolt of electricity burst through his body, which had sent him crashing to the cave floor. When he came to, he found himself being bundled into the crane basket by the Green Beret, who then turned and engaged more of the creatures as the basket began to ascend without him. Upon his return to the surface, the doctors who treated Schneider found severe damage to both his left hand and foot, with several fingers and toes missing. After he had explained to his superiors what had taken place, he was removed from the project, but later discovered that construction had continued despite his encounter. For the next year, it was alleged that further battles beneath the mesa ensued as US Special Forces clashed with alien interlopers, who appeared intent on frustrating the construction of the base. Schneider claims that in total, 66 soldiers and countless extraterrestrials lost their lives, before an uneasy peace was finally formed between the 2 opposing sides. He went on to allege that the aliens who had been residing beneath the mesa had worked with humans ever since, creating numerous scientific breakthroughs which had gone on to assist mankind. Throughout 1995, Schneider continued to tour the United States, giving talks in which he listed numerous other alleged conspiracies, alongside the revelations of deep underground military bases. Over the course of these lectures, however, it soon became apparent that the former engineer was beginning to struggle with what he had started. He described how he had been involved in a shootout with federal agents, killing one in self-defense, and how an attempt had been made to kidnap his daughter in a bid to force him to stop delivering his lectures. Then, in January of 1996, 2 months after his final speech in Denver, federal agents arrived at the home of Schneider's ex-wife, Cynthia. They explained how Phil had been found dead in his apartment in Wilsonville, having apparently decided to take his own life. The agents went on to conduct a search of Cynthia's house, removing any notes or materials relating to Phil and his lectures, before then leaving. The circumstances surrounding Schneider's death have always raised questions about the speed with which the authorities moved to attribute it to suicide. Phil's body had been found slumped between his bed and wheelchair, with a rubber catheter hose having been wrapped around his neck 3 times and tied off with a knot. Both his feet were wedged hard underneath the bed, with his head resting in the seat of the wheelchair at an angle that would not appear to have been easy or natural for him to achieve. There were traces of blood on the floor nearby, but no injuries or wounds were found on the body itself to suggest where this may have come from. When the family later asked if a suicide note had been discovered, they were told that all the papers seized from the address had now inexplicably gone missing from a police storage facility. Subsequent requests for additional toxicology testing on Schneider's remains were refused on the grounds of adverse cost, considering the cause of death had already been determined. Further and more adamant demands for these tests would also be refused, because the samples had apparently been destroyed by the laboratory which had been storing them. One detective who later spoke privately with the family stated that with the missing fingers on Schneider's left hand, it would have been almost impossible for him to have tied off the catheter himself. When the officer in question had shared these concerns with his superiors, he had been ordered to keep his observations to himself, before then being reassigned to a different case. It appeared that even in death, Phil Schneider was continuing to raise awkward and uneasy questions for those in positions of authority. When taken in context of the many accounts which already exist regarding a possible underground base at Dulce, the testimony of Phil Schneider appears to be compelling. Many of the experimental compounds and construction techniques he listed during the course of his lectures were mere concepts during the late 20th century, but have gone on to become commonplace in modern building work. His descriptions of the base layout and the functions of each of the 7 levels were also eerily similar to those offered by other witnesses, people whom he'd never met or associated with. And yet, even the lightest touch of scrutiny has shown his accounts to be marred by falsehoods and inaccuracies, which make it difficult to take some of his claims seriously. He made repeated assertions that his father, Otto Oskar Schneider, was a German U-boat captain who had been captured by the US Navy and then turned against the Nazi regime. Yet a cursory search of both German and American wartime records shows this to be an apparent fabrication, with Otto having been born in San Francisco in January of 1906. Similarly, his claims that the original attack on the World Trade Center involved the use of a tactical nuclear weapon and that the occupants of Waco Ranch had been murdered using chemical weapons have apparently been debunked. These revelations would appear to suggest that Phil Schneider was an individual prone to exaggeration, sometimes verging on the edge of delusion. But if this was the case, then where did he sustain his life-changing injuries? And what happened to the missing samples and notes he had brought with him to his lectures? Why is there so much evidence that he was silenced by unknown persons, and efforts made to present his murder as a suicide? Schneider's detractors argue that he was not a well man, and merely seized upon the alleged testimony of Thomas Costello, using it to conjure up a fantastical backstory of his own. But to his supporters, the inconsistencies in his account are explained away as the US government rewriting his family history, designed specifically to undermine Schneider's credibility and keep prying eyes away from the Dulce base. They point to the same methods used against Bob Lazar and his removal from college and employment records as an example of the lengths the US government will go to cover up such revelations. With the advent of the internet, each passing year sees more information on classified military projects slowly creeping into the public domain. It is therefore entirely possible that at some future point, evidence proving the existence of deep underground military bases will finally materialize. Or it may be that advances in technology enable investigators to finally disprove the existence of such facilities once and for all. For now at least, it seems there is a lot more digging to be done.
How is it going? How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here. We're back with another video, and today we're going to look at people with a really low IQ. We're talking low IQ, probably low credit score, all of the above. We're talking silver tooth activities. We're going to be taking a look at some people who probably shouldn't have a driver's license, and we're going to try to learn from it. YouTube, I'm using these clips as educational videos to try to teach people how not to be a dummy dum-dum when handling a vehicle, so please don't demonetize me. I am not encouraging anything bad. I'm trying to teach people how not to crash. Anyways, yesterday we went and installed some parts on the Mustang, woke it up a lot, and today I'm going to make sure that we can put that power to the ground. So if you want to see that video, which will probably come out tomorrow, subscribe. Anyways, if you see any clips like this, tag me in them, and let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, first one says GTA at McDonald's. Starting out with a truck guy, probably upset that they were out of McFlurries. Let's see how he reacts. No fucking way. No fucking way. Now, I don't understand why this dipshit thought that was a good idea in the first place. That was a heavy, hard hit. I don't know why he would even try to do it a second time, but magically he did get it on the second try. He flung out of his seat on the first try, though. Damn near went through the windshield. Also, not a very good look for this truck. This truck seems pretty damn wimpy. I think it's an F-150. I might be wrong, but Ford, what is going on here? I mean, I know what's going on. Obviously, the angle is just really bad. You're driving a truck into a ditch and expecting it to climb out while the front bumper is dragging its nuts across the floor. Like, I'm a Ford guy, but this is just embarrassing. This is why other car brands think Ford owners wear their girlfriend's thongs. Which, I mean, hey, at least I think we have a girlfriend. Seriously though, what happened at McDonald's to make this guy drive away like that? If I had to guess, probably his baby mama didn't give him the free meal. So he's pretty upset. He's probably gonna go to Walmart and pocket some bread or something and just make dinner out of that. Talk about commitment though. Homeboy didn't give up, even after damn near destroying his oil pan. Good job for that. Next clip, we got a dude in a 300ZX who thinks he's ripping a fat burnout, and sadly, the only thing he's ripping is his clutch. He's just destroying that clutch. Let's take a look. And that's what you get for being the dumbass at the car meet. You want to ruin everyone else's fun by trying to rip a burnout to burn the spot. Thank God that it was your clutch. Thank God you don't know how to do a burnout. Thank God you're an idiot. Oh boy, you know that that thing just reeks of clutch. If you've ever smelled a clutch, you know the bitter, potent smell that it has. It's a lot different from tires, and I'm honestly surprised nobody told this moron, hey buddy, I think you're doing it wrong, your tires aren't spinning. And on top of that, he didn't smell it, he didn't notice the lack of smoke. That just means he's used to no smoke on his burnouts. Because I don't know about you, but if you're ripping a burnout, you typically see clouds coming out behind you. I don't do burnouts too often, but you know what a burnout looks like, you know what it feels like, and this idiot obviously doesn't. Now honestly, I know I'm saying bad on everyone for not telling this guy, but honestly, I wouldn't have told this idiot either. Why should they tell him? Let him fuck up his car. You want to ruin the car meet? Go for it, man. Have fun riding in the Uber on the way home following the tow truck, because now we know your car is going to be on jack stands for a good 3 to 6 months as you collect your funds from working at Food for Less in order to repair your car. Let this be a lesson. Either A, know how to do a burnout, or B, just don't do burnouts at car meets. Don't be that guy, especially if you're not him. And this guy definitely was not him. Next up, we have a Mustang who, once again, thinks he's, I don't know, Paul Walker, thinks he's a DK from Tokyo Drift. You ain't him, buddy. You ain't him. Okay, so props on this guy for actually breaking loose. He already did one thing better than the 300ZX. The thing though is, where did you plan on going even if you didn't hit that little planter right there? Into the Prius? Did you not notice that there was a Prius in your way? What was your plan? I think he might have been trying to do a donut, did not whip it hard enough, and didn't have enough power to do that, and honestly, probably not even enough room. So I have no idea what this brain-dead moron was trying to accomplish here, besides getting a nice salvage title for his Mustang GT. You could see the babe there wasn't very impressed either. Honestly, this might have been her car. He might have been like, hey, this is your new car? Let me show you something cool it could do. You're going to be really impressed. Did you know it could do a burnout? No, it can't do a burnout. Yeah, it can. Watch. Check this out. Check it out. Oh, I do it all the time. It's so cool. And this is the result right here. Homeboy doesn't know what he's doing. Like, this is just 0 out of 10 for execution. He did break loose, though. That's one better than the 300ZX, but everything went wrong after he broke loose. I don't know what his plan was, and I would like to live in this guy's brain for 10 seconds just to understand his thought process on what was going on behind this. Poor Mustang, though, man. It's not the car, it's the driver. Next clip, we have a dumb BMW driver. Take a look.
Yeah, I think you're okay, man. You didn't hit nothing.
So all things considered, bro got extremely lucky. I'm going to mute this because of the radio playing. Don't want to get copyrighted. But the dude in the BMW got extremely lucky. First things first, why would you go around a car on a canyon road in a blind corner? I don't care if you're a Formula 1 driver. That's not something you do. Now, obviously, this is on a closed course, so the likelihood of traffic coming his way is very low, but still, a blind corner? Once again, you are not him. You are an idiot. That's what you are. A guy who just damn near destroyed his car and could have died. I don't understand people's logic here. I don't know why you think that this is a legitimate race with actual standings and stuff. There's no sponsors watching. There's no drone shots. You just went around this guy because your ego is so big that you can't dare be behind the American Mustang GT 500. I don't care if it says Shelby on it. It's a Mustang, and my BMW ain't sitting behind there. I just realized I'm doing a redneck voice for a BMW driver. Those two don't go together, so my bad on that one. I really botched that, but you guys get what I'm saying. This is not how you drive. If you drive in canyons like this, or you drive on the roads like this, you're just asking for trouble. He got away lucky. Hopefully he learns from this, but I have a feeling he won't. All right, next clip. This one kind of speaks for itself.
Remember, don't hit the curb.
Well, if you had one job was a video, it would be this video. Not only did he hit the curb, he went over the curb. Like, he full sent into the curb like that was his only task. It's like they told him, remember, hit the fucking curb, because that's exactly what he did right here. Once again on a closed course, so maybe it is a comedy video. YouTube, you probably don't gotta demonetize this. It might have been the plan all along, because after all, it looked like he was driving on some Blitz, which they might not be Blitz. I don't know what they are. You guys get what I'm saying, though. They weren't the prettiest wheel out there, so who really cares? I have a feeling this is how everyone drove home after seeing Tokyo Drift in theaters. I was too young for that, so I don't quite remember, but it would make a lot of sense, because even after I watch it to this day, I feel like driving my cars like this. But I don't think a 1,000 horsepower Mustang would stand a chance at doing anything like this. It'd probably end up very similar to this, honestly, probably, except there'd be more people involved in crowds and stuff like that. Haha, Mustang joke. Laugh now, subscribe. Yeah. You had one job and you failed. Don't be that guy. All right, last clip, another BMW. Oh Lord, can somebody get these guys into the driving course, because they just seem to not know what the hell they're doing. Let's take a look. This dude had so much room. It's honestly impressive that he managed to hit something. Like, this course was closed off specifically for you. There isn't a soul in sight, and yet you do like an Uno reversal right into the dumpster. Probably where the car belongs, if we're being quite honest, but still, that's not very nice. You shouldn't do that to your poor car. You shouldn't put it in the dumpster. Look, I'm all for having fun with your car, but if you don't know what you're doing, then don't try to do it if you don't have enough room, you jackass. Out of most of the dummies of this episode, he did manage to at least do a full 360. Not quite, actually. Cut it a little short there. It was about 3/4. But he managed to do the most when it came to crashing. Like, it still looked stylish as he slid right into the dumpster. So I'll give him props on that. If that dumpster wasn't there, and honestly, I mean, I could barely see it. It kind of blends in right there. I don't blame him. Honestly, it might have jumped out in front of him. If we're being quite honest, I think I see it. Yeah, it totally jumped out into the road right there. You see where it's at? It totally jumped out on him. So if we're being quite honest, yeah, it's totally the dumpster's fault. It's definitely not the BMW driver's fault. They're gods on the road. They're literally driving amongst us mortals. We're just blessed to even have these drivers on the road. Fucking idiot. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know down below. Guys, don't be a dummy dum-dum. Please don't. You guys are better than that. Which dummy dum-dum was the worst? Let me know. Subscribe. And until next video, peace. How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here. How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video. It is currently 1:15 in the morning, and I have to be up at 6 a.m. sharp to finish the Mustang, because I started chopping up the body video on that coming soon, and I have a baseball game to attend. Anyways, I don't got time for an intro today, so let's just dive right in. We're gonna be looking at some racer cars on Reddit. I needed a video, so here we are. What is this? It's a car, you dork. A poorly modified car, to be exact. Sometimes I see cars like all across the world and I'm like, God, I'm so happy we don't have those ugly pieces of shit here. Like, we don't get this car in America, and it's for a good reason. I like to think that Americans have pretty good taste for the most part, besides going to Walmart every day and having McDonald's on a daily. I like to say we have pretty good taste. A lot of American cars look good, and this thing is hideous. It's like a Toyota Echo Coupe. It's got this weird dome. It looks like a hardtop convertible, has a giant wing on the rear, quad tip exhaust for what I'm guessing is a 4-cylinder underneath the hood. The decal itself doesn't look that bad, honestly. If it was just green with the silver decal and silver wheels, like it could be a sporty looking car. But the stuff this guy did to this piece of shit, that stuff ruined it. Somebody in the comments is gonna say, Drew, you don't know what that is? That's a super rare blah 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 blah. I don't give a damn. Moving on. Red Eye up badge the world. I hate up badges. Oh no. Yeah, that's definitely a Red Eye, Chief. Yeah, I love that. Yep, nope, definitely got Red Eye exhaust. It's got the Red Eye body kit. It's got the Red Eye flames. Just because you got some flames from AutoZone that are red doesn't mean you got a Red Eye. Dare I say this is probably a V6. I know, shocking, right? Who would do that? What moron out there would up badge a V6 to make it look like something else? And it's a paradox when you think about it. Why up badge a car? Okay, hear me out. Okay, this will take 2 seconds of your time, and it's going to make the most sense ever. Why up badging is the dumbest thing anyone could do. Why up badge your car? A, you're trying to impress some bimbos that don't know anything about cars anyways. Or B, you're trying to impress car people who know that it's not the real deal. You tell a bimbo that doesn't know anything about cars that it's a Hellcat, and she wouldn't care regardless. You could tell her that it's a V6 Hellcat, and she wouldn't even know. Or you're trying to look cool at car shows and shit. Those people know that it ain't real either, so it just doesn't make sense. Either way, it's a lose-lose. At the end of the day, just be happy with what you got. Some people have to take the bus. Some people can't even afford to take the bus. So just be happy that you have a car and enjoy it. If you want to put flames on your V6, go ahead. Just don't put no Hellcat badges on it. Idiot. The wing do be Forza Aero. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, right there. Oh, made in the Forza customization menu. That do be some extra downforce, though. Oh, and I love the license plate placement, blocking all the air to go into your radiator. 10 out of 10 engineering right there. If you think about it, this does make him faster because less air is going into the engine bay. He's getting less drag right there. Yeah, he might overheat a little bit, but, you know, who cares about that, you know? He also has fender mirrors, which, like, I've never used fender mirrors, but I would assume that they're inferior to normal mirrors. Big old chrome wheels, a decal on the side, which I could assume is something that will definitely get him laid. And, of course, weather guards, a racer's favorite accessory. They're not all bad, but they just seem to find their way onto every riced out car out there. Imagine this guy has like more horsepower than all of my cars combined. Now quit imagining it, because that shit ain't real. Textbook Ricer Evo wannabe. No, we all know the Ricer Evo wannabe. We made that video already. We got a 2010 Mitsubishi Lancer GTS sedan, 4-door, $6,000. Wolverine scratch marks on both sides. Wow, he went to town. He gave this Evo a facial with his claws. You got a toe strap, aggressive canards. Ooh, this is one mean Lancer. A light bar in the lower radiator area, the lower grill. Awesome, definitely for the rally events. We got a fake hood scoop, probably just to throw off the competition. Makes sense to me. Stock ride height, probably just so he clears all of the terrain when he's off-roading in the rally events. Yeah, this thing is really clean, man. This thing is yeah, $6,000. I could totally see myself picking this up for. He's probably lowballing. Honestly, I'd offer him 10. Oh, thank God there's more photos. Oh, hello, they're beautiful. I'm surprised there's no Wolverine scratch marks on the rear. I know Wolverine was hitting it from behind. He's got some cool splats, some mud flaps, red spray painted brake systems. I don't know if it's a drum or a caliper. I can't see it from here. It's really tiny on my screen. I zoomed in for you guys. You can thank me later. Or you know what? Thank me by liking this video. Vortex generators. Yeah, dude, this is a mean machine right here. I don't like Reddit, but when Reddit hits, it hits hard. Just like Wolverine hit this from behind. It was attacked. Wolverine making another appearance. Oh my, damn. That is some damage. As Phil Swift would say, now that's a lot of damage. That's not a good Phil Swift voice. I don't know what the hell that was. That was Carl Weezer. Yeah, damn. I mean, it almost looks like he gave his car eyelashes. That's kind of the downside to doing the Wolverine scratch marks. It kind of just looks like eyelashes from a distance. It looks like an edgy 2005 teenage girl. Besides the giant claw marks on the hood. Now I don't know what the story is behind that, but Wolverine's big brother? I don't know. Maybe. Why do people think that this looks cool? Like, I've never seen Wolverine scratch marks on any vehicle to this day and thought, damn, that shit's mean. Never. And it'll never happen. Please stop putting these stickers on every damn car. For Drew Peacock Part 2, oh my God, people, you guys are the best. Thank you. I haven't checked the subreddit in a while, but thank you. I am here now, your Lord and Savior. Oh my God. Why so serious? Why so serious? He's got a good handful of the Jokers. There's probably more that have played the Joker that I don't know about because I'm not a huge DC fanboy, but yeah, good amount of them here. Yeah, wait, where's Jared Leto, the best Joker to date? You guys missed him out. He outperformed Heath Ledger for sure. Also, the door handle, you didn't wrap over the door handle to match the, that's just lazy right there. Anyways, let's take a look at this mean machine and let's see if we could break it down. It's a 5th gen with, of course, the facelifted ZL1 front end. He's got the Corvette style hood, goes forward, I guess. That just makes it more annoying in my opinion. Like, why would you want it to go the reverse way? Like, imagine you have to like work on something in the front. No. There's a reason why this hood was designed to go the other way. And of course, Lambo doors, a giant wing. Oh my God. The Joker theme is really edgy though. That is really edgy. The thing I do like his door cards. I will say that. I like his door cards. I kind of wish I had some in my Mustang. Future mod, question mark. We'll see. Although I do like having an armrest. That hood portrait is just god awful. It looks like Morbius. Is it Morbius? It looks like Morbius. I'm genuinely thinking that that's Morbius, which is like, excuse me, this has to be a parody at this point. Like, is it? It looks like either Morbius or Dracula. 0 out of 10, trash ass build. Get this shit off my screen right now. You charged me for my electricity bill, and I'm mad at you for that. Like this extra couple pennies that I'm wasting staring at this pile of junk. I gotta send you the bill for this one. This is uncalled for. Rate my base model Impreza with exhaust and intake as loud as WRX STI and as slow as a stock Civic Si. I'm like, why do people want their cars to be loud? I don't get. Oh God damn it! Oh my God, the K&N sticker as well. God damn it! Why do people like? I'm sorry. Having a loud car, maybe it's because I'm getting a little older. You know, I'm at that very old age of 25 now. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but having a loud, drony ass car is so lame. I hate when my cars are that loud. Like, the Mustang is the loudest car I have, and it's not too bad. You know, it's a dedicated race car for the most part, so I'll live with it. And I have a couple other options if it's a little too loud. You know, I could always just hop in the McLaren or the Supra, you know. But having, like, there's nothing worse than sitting on the highway for an hour plus and just hearing while just trying to keep up with a Prius. Like there's nothing worse than that. It is the most annoying thing ever. I'm sorry. Hashtag make exhaust sound great again. Hashtag go get a fucking resonator. Hashtag quit chopping everything off your shit box because it sounds like ass. Hashtag get a life. Rate it. Hashtag sell it. You can't possibly be most wanted in this thing. I almost read that wrong. Damn. Look at that bad boy right there. Oh my God. Look at that wing. Look at that wing. That thing pretty damn mean. It's like a Uno reversal of like Paul Walker's Skyline from Too Fast, Too Furious. It's like a you wish you were me, you know? And I'm sure this was probably the runner-up, honestly. This guy probably was busy that day. Couldn't get his car featured. I just don't understand. Like, it's 2023. It's so simple to wrap a car and take off an ugly ass wing. Like, you give this car a nice wrap and take off that wing, and it's a clean Civic coupe. There isn't. The wheels are fine in my opinion. I'd even leave the little body kit on it. I don't think it's the worst thing ever from what I'm seeing. Just take off the wing, give it a nice like deep purple or black wrap, and call it a day. The reason why I'm choosing a darker color for this is because I wouldn't want to be seen in this. So do it. This one doesn't have a title. Let's take a look. I see why it doesn't have a title. This thing literally looks like a shark, and in the worst way possible. Like, sharks are supposed to look aggressive, fierce, intimidating. This thing looks like a shark that was somehow dropped on its face as a baby and then ran over by a train also as a baby, somehow survived, went through school being bullied the whole time, and then got hit by another train. There's no trains underwater. That's physically impossible, but that's if you asked an AI, it would probably look like this. I don't know why this car looks so goddamn goofy. It looks like the same car as the car from the first picture, but even worse. Like, this front end does not match the hood and everything else. It just, it's hurting my brain just looking at this thing. Jeez. Yeah. Bye. Fast and Furious much? Oh, buddy, look at that double decker up on there. With the racing stripes and the White Sox logo. You got bad taste in trucks and bad taste in sports teams. The White Sox? What is this, 1919? Nobody gives a shit about the White Sox. Bro has the worst taste known to man. He chose these ugly ass taillights with these ugly ass stripes with this ugly ass double decker wing and then slapped a White Sox sticker on it. You know, the White Sox franchise should sue you for just devaluing their name brand. This is their client. This is their fan base right here. Oh, hell nah. Hell nah. Get me out of here. I do not want to watch a White Sox game ever again because of seeing this truck. Adios, amigos. Plus 100 horsepower decals. Oh, baby. You could tell this car's actually fast, okay? Now hear me out. He's missing paint on the front bumper because when he's on the track, you know, the Aventadors, the SVJs and stuff, they're shooting up rocks in his face, you know, and it's chipping his paint. And it's just, he's had enough of it. He's had enough of it. And I don't blame him. You know, he earned his stripes. The flame decals, they might not be a decal. It might be etched in the paint. It honestly might be, you know, because when you're driving a bad car like this one, a mean machine, and you're putting laps on Lambos and Ferraris, even McLarens, yeah, you earned your stripes, kid. You earned it. That, and if this guy probably stopped buying these fucking goofy ass decals, he could afford to respray his front bumper. Come on, kid, get a life. All right, last one. It just says no. Oh, god damn. Somebody ran out of vinyl stickers to stick on the urban camo. Urban camo? If you're gonna put a camo on your car, at least do like diamond camo from Black Ops 2, like urban camo. You ain't even in an urban landscape. You're in some cornfield. What is this? And of course, it has a supreme tow hook on your Honda Accord. It's a little ironic, wouldn't you ask me? You got the name brand luxury tow hook, which is definitely fake. I don't know if Supreme actually makes tow hooks, but this isn't worth anything, honestly. You probably got it for like 50 cents in a hand job. You got that on your Honda Accord. Your Honda Accord from 2002. It might even be older than that. It honestly is. With the LGBTQ headlights and underglow? Come on, kid. And Evo 8 wannabe hood. What is going on here? Come on, man. Come on. Somebody's got to take away your mom's credit card, okay? You're dressing up your car like it's a Fortnite skin. Like, come on. Spiky lug nuts. Weather guards, once again. Need I repeat myself? Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know down below. No, I'm joking. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know down below. Seemed like a pretty good episode. Seemed like a pretty good one. I actually enjoyed that one. Anyways, wish me luck at my baseball game tomorrow. I'll hit a dinger for you guys. Subscribe, and until next video, peace. How is it going, guys? All right, second. How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video. And if you didn't see yesterday's video, we went ahead and changed the rear gears in the Mustang. We went from a 355 to a 410, and the results were amazing. You guys got to go watch that video if you haven't seen it yet, because this video might not make complete sense. I mean, I guess it still will, but either way, go watch that video. If you guys have been a long-term subscriber, you guys know that this car is biggest issue is traction, and today I'm trying to resolve that by a 2-step plan. I guess a 3-step plan. But today we're doing step 1. And this is Drew Peacock from the future, narrating over the dummy dum-dum on screen who thought he was a genius. He is not a genius. He is a clown. Look at him speak, and his voice isn't even being heard because future Drew has come back to stop him from doing his stupid plan. I had a dumb idea. I thought it would work. It didn't work. I ended up like redoing it and pretty much just guessing and checking until I just figured, let's just throw big slicks on this car. That's pretty much what happened here. So, I'll throw in some clips of what my dumb idea was, and it did work a little bit, but ultimately, I chopped out a lot of me wasting your guys' time, and you can thank me for that by leaving a little like down below. Anyways, I do chop up the car, and we throw on some big slicks, so stick around. Rear is sitting pretty too, but my exhaust is coming into contact with my rear end. It's coming into contact with my axles. So that little thing right there might give me just an extra 3/8 to a ½ inch of space, which will allow this to have a little bit more travel, a little bit more cushion, and a little bit more squat. It's just gonna bump it up just a little bit. This thing claims it's a 1-inch riser. It is not a 1-inch riser. It definitely was a 1-inch riser. You could barely notice, but it was just enough to clear the front. So hopefully it'll help us in the rear. Now, like I said, this is just step 1. Step 2 is going to be repairing my bead locks, which is actually in the trunk right now. Hopefully it is repaired. We're gonna go ahead and test that probably tomorrow. Definitely did not happen. An even taller tire, an even bigger tire to make sure that this thing has plenty of grip, and then we should be able to pop wheelies. Hopefully, that'd be amazing. Imagine we're popping wheelies doing 60 rolls. That would be absolutely insane. But no, all jokes aside, we're just trying to get this car to put its power to the floor, and if we can do it, then we can turn it up eventually. Anyways, let's get started. All right, car's up in the air. Everything is supported, so it's literally 2 bolts. It's just my shock bolts, and everything lowers down nice and easy. So now let's take you, pretty little Cobra Jet spring, and let's waste the next 3 days of my life. Our part. Here she is, and let's make it fit. All right, here we go. One side done. Trust me, I'm surprised too I didn't kill myself. Placeholder just to get it in the car. After that, the weight of the vehicle keeps it on. Totally working right now. Didn't just press record for the last 5 seconds of me putting in 1 bolt. Totally working, don't mind me. All right, I got it all put back together. I haven't seen how it looks on the floor yet. You're still lucky, Drew. You have optimism pumping through your veins. Just wait. Let's go ahead and slowly lower it down. All right, yeah, the suspension definitely isn't settled yet because I could fist my shit. So let me let me pull it out and go around the block really quick. So, got a little bit of an issue. Okay. This side isn't too bad. Let me get on my flashlight. This side isn't too bad, okay? Isn't too bad, bro. We could see your shocks through your wheel gap. You've become the very thing you make fun of. Now it's got, oh god, that's a bit much. Okay. The other side. Let's take a look at the other side real quick. Similar situation. I don't know why the rears went up a lot higher than the fronts. The fronts barely made a difference, but the rears are stupid high. All right, guys, it is the next day, and as I was driving home last night, I did do a couple test pulls, and it did seem to help it a teeny tiny bit. AKA, it didn't help it at all. I'm just trying to convince myself that I'm not an idiot, even though I am. Put the largest tire possible on this car as it currently sits. I'm saying quit the games, quit messing around, let's cut to the chase, okay? I want this thing to hook. It ain't winning races if it ain't hooking. So we're gonna go get the largest tire possible. Right now, this is a 325, and we're going to a 315, so we're a little smaller. And I know you're saying, well, Drew, you just lied to us. You just told us we were gonna go bigger. We are, we're going a lot taller. So this is a 28-inch tall diameter right here, 28 inches. We're going to 30, so it's gonna fill in all this gap, and it should be okay. Now, I did my research, and for that tire to fit, you need to be at stock ride height or taller, and I'm thinking we are. I also did research into what springs I have, which are Cobra Jet springs, but there's 2 different types. There's a lowering version type, and then there's an older version type, which is like the super tall ride height one. We obviously have the lowering version type because it looks decent without the little spacers in there. So I'm hoping with the spacers, it's perfect, but we might need to trim the spacers or find a better alternative because we need that stock ride height, or else we're gonna rub horribly. Anyways, let's go. All right, so we just got to my parents' house. I'm gonna yank these off really quickly and then we're gonna head out. We'll get a quick before and after. I am going to keep these tires just in case the other ones don't work out. I'm gonna need something to toss on, so nice little before. I mean, we could see the wheel gap. It seems like it's less than yesterday. Maybe not, but yeah, we'll toss these in the van real quick. All right, the tire shop took a while, but we're back. Here's my old tires, and one thing I did notice is, if you look, this tire's not a great example of it, but the edges are actually worn more than the middle, which is a clear sign of underinflation. This one, you can see it a bit better. It's clear as hell in person. Let me go get the new tires. They look massive. If you thought these looked massive, the other ones look crazier. And here's the new one, the 315/6015 ET Street Radial Pro. So the major difference is the tread. Look at that. That's all I get. 2 slits across the whole thing. Just a couple little zigzags of slits. This one has grooves that follow throughout the whole thing. So this one is actually street legal. This one is not. But has that ever stopped anyone? Is my whole car street legal? No. So definitely can't drive these in any rain. So I'll have to be careful. But I've had these on the car before, just in a 275/60. This is a lot bigger. It's a lot taller. Let me toss these on and let's see how it looks. Hopefully they fit. I honestly don't know if it's gonna fit, but there's only one way to find out. Please, God, have mercy. Let this thing fit. Well, I mean, it's on. It's definitely on. I mean, dude, look at how close it is. It's not on the floor obviously yet, but it is close. Oh my God, it looks great though. I mean, let me get the other side on and we'll lower her down. All right, let's lower her down. Ooh. Oh my God, dude. It's fucking massive. Holy shit. Okay, clearance looks pretty good, but I mean, it's close. It's... Holy shit. All right, let me check the air pressure and then let's go for a drive. I haven't moved it yet, but dude, this angle, the rake on it, it's ridiculous. So I'm hoping the suspension will settle because that thing looks like it's damn near touching the floor. I can't drive like that. If it does end up staying like that, I'm gonna have to either remove the spacers or chop them. I mean, dude, that's... Oh, all right, let's try driving it. So, I mean, I have to do something because I'm driving around and my headlights are pointed at the floor. Obviously, I can adjust them, but that just goes to show how much it's actually changed it. Like, I can't see anything. So, not a good sign for the spacers. I definitely have to figure something out. I'm just going around the block, letting the suspension kind of settle, make sure it's not rubbing, and then I'm gonna see what the best course of action is because I mean, dude, this is insane. My front bumper is not gonna be happy if I leave it like this. So let's go back to the house. Okay, so after some thinking, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the spacers. I think that's my best bet. Honestly, it's sitting a little too tall right now, especially for my front end. I'm gonna remove the spacers, and if it's still too low, then I'm going to just chop the spacers in half or figure something else out. We need to make this work or else I'm screwed. So you guys hang out with the puppy and I'll get to work. Here, Orion, keep him company. Here, babysit them. All right, so we have some issues. The tire still isn't quite fitting. We took out the spacers. I'm thinking about putting back in the spacers, but the problem with that option is that my front bumper just sits too low because of the rake of the vehicle. The rear end would be kicked up, which would tilter the front end down low. After a night of sleeping blissfully and dreaming of gapping more Hellcats, I figured I gotta do what I gotta do to get these tires to fit, and boy, if that means I gotta cut up this car like the dude stealing the catalytic converters at 3 a.m., then I'm gonna do it. All right, so here's how it's looking right now. I just slotted all of the pieces that were sticking out and I just tapped them away with a mallet and then painted over them so that way we don't have to worry about rust or anything like that. Same with all this back here. It was rubbing on the passenger side really bad back here, so slotted it and just gently tapped it all away, and we have plenty of clearance there now. The old tires were rubbing a little bit up there, so we did the same thing, just tapped it away a little bit. That's only really rubbing on driveways and stuff, so I'm not too worried about that. And then up here, I didn't think that this was gonna rub, but I just did it anyways. I just wanted to make sure. So once again, slotted it and then just tapped it away. It should be fine. I mean, the car is already chopped underneath the fenders a little bit, so we should be okay. This should be good. I also chopped out the bumper connection right here because it was touching, so you could see where it used to be. It was touching right here really bad. I chopped it. We have a connection still down here, so it's still on there. It's still connected. It's still secure. And then it has clips throughout the whole thing. So if this is a permanent fix, I will probably bolt this upwards, so we don't have to worry about that. I'll just figure out a way to get that to go up there and just bolt it, and then that will be good. But it's not going to come off. We have this connection down here, so even if it moves a little bit, I'm cool with that, just as long as it stays secured. So let's toss the wheel back on, and I think we have a winner right here. We'll go test it right now.
All right, we're gonna test out a 60 roll. 60 roll with the new tires is right at about 43, 42. Well, we rubbed. Yeah, we rubbed. And behind us, I saw a cloud of smoke. That's not good. I mean, if it's just rubbing on plastic, that's one thing. But if it's rubbing on metal, which it didn't feel like it, because we would have slowed down. But if it's rubbing on metal, then that's really bad. Fuck. It's never easy. It's never easy. Alright, well, we'll let the car settle down, and we'll try one more in a minute. Alright, actually really quick, I'm going to try another third gear. We're on the asphalt, which is known to not help me with traction. And I'm going to do it at my peak RPM, which is like 4,500. I don't know where that's going to set me miles per hour, but we're going to just try it in a second. Oh, after this little hill. So I'm going to see where it sets me. 4,500, 68 miles per hour. Just a quick little hit. It hooks. It hooks. I'll take a little rubbing for some hooking. I'll take a little rubby for some hooky. These tires are great. That's why I wanted these. It's like, I know with these tires, I'm gonna hook. The question is, and I'd be blown away, I'm telling you, blown out of the water. Do we hook in second? If we do, holy fuck. Like, yeah, quick one. All right, second. It kinda hooks in second. Yeah, quick one. All right, second. It kinda hooks in second. Woo! Okay, so it's gripping. It's trying to hook in second. Almost does. It like you felt it. It fucking womped us up, and then I felt wheel hop, which is usually a sign we're gonna break an axle. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get stranded one day, mammy. Anyways, I let out of it, got back in it, and the car hooked and booked in second. So wow. On the asphalt too. What I know I don't hook best on. These tires are magical. I got unicorn skin for tires. All right, if it opens up and I see an opportunity, maybe I'll try another second gear hit, but I might snap an axle, so we'll see.
Holy crap. All right, it's been a couple days, but I got it to work. I've been driving it, and it hooks and it books. This setup is absolutely insane. I see why a lot of people don't run it, because you do got to chop a lot of the car out. But if you have a wide body kit or if you have flares, it works perfectly. And it is like a 10 out of 10, would recommend. Let me show you guys how it's sitting right now. Just take a look at this. Take a look at that. Oh my God, look at that rake right there. Look at how it's leaning. It looks nice, it looks aggressive. It's kicked up in the rear. Look at that slick. Oh my God. I said I bought the whole wheel well. I'm gonna use the whole wheel well. It is super close, but it doesn't rub. I know, impressive. Doesn't rub. If you look at the tire, there's not really any wear marks on it. The only place it was rubbing was there was a bolt holding on the side skirt in here, and it squatted and rubbed in there, and it actually left a bit of a groove. You could see it right there. Let me get closer to it. There you go. You can see the groove. That's just now a nice little water, a little drainage area right there, a little groove, some tread. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But dude, it is sitting up so high, but like it has to. This is as low as it can be with a 30-inch tall drag slick. Like it's just like it's a drag car, you know? It's a full-on drag car at this point, and it's so thick. It's so incredibly thick. Also on this side, not rubbing. It is really close right here, and I might trim a little bit of this off, but it's not rubbing. It's not rubbing at all. Not under squatting or anything like that. You can see the tire, not really any marks on it. So if it is rubbing, it's negligible, but it is hooking. And honestly, I probably didn't have to do the 410 gears to get second gear to hook. I just had to do this, but why not do both and get the best of both worlds? What a stressful week it has been. I did not think we were going to be able to get it to work. I looked up on forums, and some people had run the setup before, but they said they just preferred the 275 for the track because the tracks are prepped. You don't need a 315 like this. But for a street setup, for something that isn't going to be on a prepped track, I think this is the best setup. The ET Street R is still a great tire, but there's a reason why people use the Radial Pro at the track, and if they're putting down big numbers. It's a great tire. It is so forgiving. It's so amazing. You could actually see it's wrinkling a little bit, or it has like little, I want to say those are like wrinkle marks. You could see it all the way around. I've had a tire do that in the past, but it was a long time ago, and this one did it once it started hooking in like second or third gear. I've only done a couple pulls on these tires, and it's already got those marks. If anyone can explain what these are, go ahead and let me know down below. It's not grease or anything. You can't wipe them off. It looks literally like the tire flexed, and those are just marks left into it. I mean, with a sidewall that massive, I hope it's flexing. I hope it's doing its job. So I'm gonna say those are wrinkles. Let me know down below if you're a tire expert. Is that just moisture? It doesn't seem like it though, because you can't wipe it off. So I don't know. They've been like that for a couple days. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the car's sitting. If we go and do another little walk around, it's sitting super aggressive. Looks crazy. It's menacing. It looks like the Cobra Jet car with the giant slick in the rear. It's all caked up too, and then the front's nice and low to the floor, and it doesn't really scrape either. I was worried that we were going to be scraping on everything, but it's honestly manageable. I haven't scraped going in and out of this driveway, and I don't really scrape going in and out of my own driveway, so I think it's okay. I think this is a winning setup right here. The only irony behind everything is if I do go for more power, I might need to gear down the rear end again, but I guess we'll just see when the time comes. These tires are hooking like crazy, so I don't know. This might be just the ultimate tire out there, but we made them fit. We got 30-inch slicks to fit on an old Mustang. I'm happy. I was very stressed, but we made it work. Thank you guys. I also did have to take off the little splats back here just because it was just a little bit too close. So no more splats. You just see all tire in the rear. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. The lighting is not the best. It is getting dark, but it's just all meat. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know down below. I'm super happy with the Mustang. The Supra motor should be here very shortly, and the Honda motor is out getting some stuff installed on it. So he'll be back very shortly. I hope you guys are excited. If you are, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can flock the videos with everyone else. And until next video, peace. I think it's okay. I think this is a winning setup right here. The only irony behind everything is if I do go for more power, I might need to gear down the rear end again, but I guess we'll just see when the time comes. These tires are hooking like crazy, so I don't know. How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and the time has finally come. We are continuing the build on the 1,000 horsepower Mustang. It's almost at 1,000. I don't want to say 1,000 yet. It's definitely over 1,000 crank, but we're not at 1,000 wheel yet. But this next mod, which in my opinion is one of the most underrated mods people don't do, this next mod's gonna make it feel like 1,000 horsepower. So here she is, looking all dandy and dirty. But that's not a big issue. We'll clean her up in a bit. What we're going to do though is take her in and go get her dropped off. What we're having installed today is something a lot of people overlook. It's one of the cheapest ways you can make your car faster, and actually faster. It won't add horsepower, but it'll make it faster. And that is by changing the rear gear ratio on your vehicle. Now, if your vehicle doesn't have rear gears, you're kind of shit out of luck. I guess you could rear gear your trans, but it's a little bit more difficult. This is something that a lot of people overlook, and it's something that I should have done a long time ago, and I'll explain why. So as you guys know, hopefully, my car is a T56 swapped car. That means it used to have a 5-speed transmission. Now it has a T56, which is a 6-speed, which is very important because all of the gears inside the trans are different. They're all different ratios, and that affects the overall power band of the car, I should say. One of the issues I was having with my car was forcing me to start in second gear if I wanted to do a 60 roll, which is just ridiculous. I mean, a 60 roll in second gear, it's absolutely ridiculous. You're not gonna hook. So how do you fix that? Well, you simply re-gear the rear end. If you re-gear it and you up your gears to match what you actually have, me being a T56, a 410 fits that perfectly, and that is a huge jump from 355s, so the acceleration is going to be insane. It'll be actually very similar to the gear ratio on the Supra. That car also has a T56, but its rear end is a 4.08, I think. So we're going with 410s, and I actually checked this out. I actually did a lot of my math by using Forza. I went into Forza 4, I went and input all of my stuff into my car and changed the gear ratios, and I just did it based on that. They do sell 373s, but 410s will be perfect for what we're trying to do. I've been watching a lot of Gordon Ramsay too, so the hand gestures, they're just insane today. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be taking it into Addiction Motorsports today, and we'll be having them install it. I'm not gonna even try to do that. I've looked up videos, and it doesn't seem too hard, but you can install them incorrectly. And you want to make sure it's shimmed perfectly. So I'm not even going to risk it. I'm just going to go and take it in, have them do it. And they're actually going to give me a tuner as well, so we can data log it and adjust tunes on the fly. So that'll be very important. The cold start has been lacking. I have to cold start it 4 or 5 times for it to stay on. So I got to log that for them and do all that. But we'll be taking it there, having them toss in the 410s. We'll be picking it up in the next day or so. So let's go. All right, so there she is. Just got done paying. And she is covered in bird shit, but she looks great. We'll give her a little wash later today. I mean, she is literally riddled with bird shit. Riddled with it. And sticks. I guess it was parked underneath a tree. Anyways, I already saw my old diff was in the car, so that's great. There's a beautiful 5.0 right here with welds, bead locks, skinnies. But anyways, let's turn on our car and let's head out. Dude, I missed you. Smells like gear oil in here because he left the old ring and pinion right there. Let me close my door so it doesn't get yanked off. Let's start her up. Woo! Hello, beautiful. We also bought a HP Tuners TDN tuning device, so we'll have to definitely use that. This will be more for just adjusting and data logging and stuff like that, but it's nice to have one. He could do remote adjustments and all that, so sweet. Anyways, let's head out. All right, so we're driving the Mustang and the gears feel great. It feels like the car is geared how it should be with the T56. Obviously the 5-speed needed a bit of a longer or taller gear because it only had 5 gears, but with a T56 having that extra gear really does help. We're doing 73 right here and we're at 2300 RPM. That's like a pretty average cruising speed for me. 76, we're still at 2360 right there. So it's like perfectly geared. The car is not super loud, it's not super drony. And I noticed before I wasn't really using 6, and now I am. But now let's see how she is when it really matters, right? Let's get that nice 60 roll. 60 roll is right at about 44, which is exactly where Forza said it would be, ironically. Let's see.
that pole, a cop came on the freeway and turned on his lights. I yanked off the GoPro really quick. I think he pulled someone else over. I'm 99% he pulled someone else over. I don't think I was speeding anymore, and I don't think he would have saw me, so I think I'm okay, but holy moly, dude, that thing felt so gnarly, and it was fighting for traction. I mean, I think I could do it, but it was definitely fighting for traction a little bit right there. I really hope that cop doesn't come up. I'm kind of trying to get out of the area. I'm not speeding. I'm not trying to hang around and see what his quota is for the month. But dude, first impressions, it's pretty gnarly. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty gnarly. It was moving. It definitely was moving, but damn, I really hope traction is not gonna be an issue. Oh god, it felt so crazy. I'm gonna fill up with some gas and get towards my area, because I don't want to get impounded and have to Uber from way the hell where I'm at right now. So I'll see you guys when we're back in the area. Alright, we'll try another one after this bridge. I just want to make sure I don't see any police. Holy shit, dude. Like, I'm speechless while I'm like decelerating, because I'm trying to like grasp how fast we're accelerating. It is struggling to hook a little bit, but these tires are a little old. It might be spinning in the wheel too, so luckily I'm gonna go pick up my beadlock barrel and hopefully it's repaired, and then we can throw the beadlocks back on. But it is struggling to hook a teeny tiny bit. This also isn't the best pavement. That nice black pavement, that's where you get traction. This gray shit, it's hit or miss. It's really hit or miss, but dude, it's woo! Once I get into fourth, it's just fucking going. It's crazy.
Alright, so here we are back in town, and I wish I could show you guys what they did. I mean, obviously they just swapped out the rear gears. I can't really show you that, but I mean, I guess I can show you the old gears. I'm assuming they're in here, but I guess there's one. Oh, damn, this is a heavy fucking box. Let me pull this out. Alright, got it open, and they're a lot bigger than I thought. I didn't think that this one was going to be as big. This is kind of how I imagined the actual ring to be, but the pinion itself, I didn't imagine it to be that large. So these are the factory 355s that came on the car, and I mean, they held their own. They're actually in a lot better shape than I thought. I figured pushing close to 1,000 horsepower in a car that came with 300 from factory would shred them a little bit more, but I guess not. I guess they are built Ford tough after all. So I'm thinking we go for a little drive right now. I will put the 360 cam on. The car still is dirty. I apologize. That and my tires, after inspection, aren't as fresh as I thought. They are they're not that bad, actually. They're not that bad, but yeah, let's take it for a drive and let's see what happens. All right, so we asked a couple of our friends to close off the course where he works, so we're gonna do a quick little 60. Missed a gear, but it felt good.
Oh, God. You should have seen your face. No, that was...
Oh my god. That felt good. Alright, we'll wait a second. Oh my god. Dude, it's a monster.
I don't want to do that.
It's a fucking monster. I'm short shifting it too because I have to. We'll do one more. I'm gonna try second gear.
No, please, I don't want to do that.
Dude,
I
it's
don't wanna do
a
that.
monster.
I don't want to do it. Andrew,
All right, guys, first impressions. The car feels absolutely insane. Like, it feels like a completely different car. It doesn't even feel like my Mustang anymore. It feels like a completely new Mustang, and it's so quick. When you shift into fourth and you just still feel the G-forces you pushing you into the seat, it's really hard to explain. Like, I wish I could take every single one of you on a ride along just so you guys can experience it. But it's crazy. Like just how simple one little modification can change the whole feeling and the whole drivability of the car. Funny enough, I actually got this idea from recommending it to someone else. I recommended it to them because they were like, hey, what can I do to my 3-valve before I like boost it and stuff? Or like if I want to like wait on boosting it, what can I do right now that'll like wake it up? And it was like, why haven't I thought about this? Like I gave it a thought a while back, but I was like, I'm already having traction issues, so why would I up my rear gears, which is gonna make my low end torque ridiculous? And it just made sense. Why am I fighting to force it into second? Why don't we just gear it up to third? And third gear will hook like a charm. Now, it doesn't hook quite as well as I thought it would, because we upped the low end torque, but I'm gonna fix that within the next couple days, and then it'll, I can't wait. I have something planned, a little thing, a little redneck mod that I think will just make this thing just hook and book like no tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know why more people don't mess with this stuff. I think this is a lot better. I think this is a lot better of an idea than like putting E85 on a naturally aspirated car. Just do this instead. I feel like if you re-gear your car, it's a lot nicer. It feels a lot more like a punch. It just, you get that nice low end torque. It pushes you in your seat. No matter your application, I think this is a good idea. Just make sure you have enough tire to back it up, because if you don't, you're gonna be screwed. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could show you guys what they did. Like I said earlier, I can't, sadly. I mean, it's all behind there. But I am gonna be doing something that I think, like I said, will help it just squat more. It'll hook more. It's, again, kind of redneck. I'm gonna test it before I actually make a video on it, because I don't want to release false info. But I'm gonna test it, and I'm gonna see for you guys, and that'll be next for this thing. And then after that, I think she's just gonna be a monster. So I am super happy with the outcome, and I can't wait to go test it down in Mexico against some other cars. Anyways, guys, that is all I got for you for today. I'm too afraid to redline it. If you haven't seen already from the clips from earlier, I'm not really redlining it. It's still just, it feels too quick, and I haven't had the right runway to test it on. So anyways, highly recommend it. Super underrated mod. Look into it for your car, look into it for your application, and go on forums and read what other people are doing. And that's the best advice I can give to you guys. Anyways, hopefully you did enjoy this. If you did, subscribe. Next up is this and the Civic. The Civic is actually getting work done, and that motor should be in ASAP. I need that done. I need that car here. I need to make videos on it now. So if you're excited for all that stuff, subscribe. We got a lot of stuff coming to the builds this year. Hope you guys are excited. Anyways, until next video, peace. The great thing about the car scene is everybody has different builds. Everybody has different visions. Everybody has a different goal. Some people like to build the fastest car possible, even though that is literally impossible, because there will always be someone faster than you. And other people just try to make their cars look sick as heck, bro. My subscribers are no different. So today we're going to look at their cars, and I'm going to give my input on them. I'm going to see if I think they're rice or they're nice. And I'll give them a little rating, 1 out of 10. If you guys want your car to end up in one of these episodes, go ahead and send it to my Gmail, drewpeacock.clips@gmail.com. Hit that like button, and then put in the subject bar, I hit like, and it should end up in a video eventually. I get a lot of submissions. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive right in. Also, I'm picking up my Mustang today with the new parts installed, and I can't wait. It's like a kid on Christmas. This thing is going to feel so crazy. If you want to see that video, subscribe. Anyways, let's dive right in. First car is a Mazda 3 with some herpes on its face. You got a Mazda 3, kid, not a Subaru WRX. Probably don't need all those fucking heat lamps on there. Anyways, besides the abomination of a front end, the car itself isn't half bad. I mean, he's totally going for a rally look, which to each their own, but it's a Mazda 3. I don't even think that these are considered rally cars. I think these are just normal ass cars to most people. However, he did modify his by adding a turbo exhaust. Let's see. I wish I could take every single one of you on a ride along just so you guys can experience it. But it's crazy. Like just how simple one little modification can change the whole feeling and the whole drivability of the car. Funny enough, I actually got this idea from recommending it to someone else. I recommended it to... How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and today we're finally taking in the Supra to get the new color on, and it is probably the ugliest it's ever looked right now. Like, this This has to be the worst state the Supra's ever been. So I was able to get most of the wrap off, but I'm gonna just have him do this last door because I was busy filling in little dings and dents. Like right here, this is all nice and filled in now, where there's not gonna be any dents right there. And then I also filled in up here the little license plate holes and actually put a piece of wrap over it just to make sure it looks clean, and it does. There's no imprints, there's no dents, so it's gonna look really nice when it's all said and done. I also took off all the carbon so he doesn't have to worry about that, and then when I get it back I will reinstall it and make sure it's all clean. So she's naked right now. She is quite the naked car. She's gonna look like quite the shitbox going down the road right now, but it's only temporary. Now I am super excited for the new color. I can't wait, and I know Cali Auto Design or Miguel is going to knock it out. Place your bets down below. What color do you think I went with? We're gonna head down there right now, drop off the car. Maybe I'll give you a little tease of it. Probably not. I want you guys to see it when it's revealed. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and head down there. Funny, I'm actually still on the same tank of gas I went to the mountains in. We're still at E55. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, but we're on the same gas. I haven't driven this car at all. Hey, we're racing, okay? It's smoked. No, I'm joking. Alright guys, we made it to Cali Auto Design. It is windy out here, so forgive my hair, but I'm gonna give you guys a quick little sneak peek of the wrap, and this will be the last time you guys see it looking like this, because I mean, let's just be real, that's disgusting. But I'll give you a little sneak peek, and then you'll see the car in a week or two and she'll be transformed. It's like Pimp My Ride, but less goofy. So let me show you guys. So here is the vinyl. It is from Esmo Vinyl, and it's their color called Soul Red. So I've never done red before, and I wanted something that had a little metallic in it, and it's not too bright. It's not like a cherry red. It's got like a nice, just like deep red, but it'll still stand out. It'll still look great. It is overcast, so it's probably hard to tell like how it'll really look in the sun, but I'm super excited for this. Like I said, I've never done red, and going from yellow, it was kind of hard. I was looking at blues, I was looking at some greens, and I went ahead and settled on that red, and I think it's gonna look really good, but we'll have to see when he's done working his magic. All right, Mammy, you saw the new color. What do you think?
No, it's more HD.
That is more HD. I guess you can cover your face, but what do you think about the new color?
I like the color, but I wish it went on the Mustang instead of the Supra.
Well, we might be wrapping the Mustang very soon. So
But you do put the ugly colors on this car. So.
the yellow wasn't ugly. Look what you chose. You chose baby caca green. Like, what is this? Like, come on. But yeah, Miguel's in there handling it with some other customers, but we're about to take off. He's gonna go ahead and work his magic on this and just make it, it's gonna look like paint. Like, it's literally gonna look like paint at the end of the day, so I'm super excited about that. But we'll get out of his hair and he'll go ahead and work his magic. If you guys are looking for a wrap in SoCal, hit up Miguel at Cali Auto Design, and he'll make your car look like it was resprayed with just simple wrap, just like this one. Look at that, one piece front bumper, no seams, no inlays. You see that? Looks like paint. It's gonna be like that, but on there. All right, guys, we just made it to Cali Auto Design, and after a long hour and a half of sitting in traffic, we're here to finally see the reveal. I hope you guys are excited. Check it out. Yeah. Dude, oh my God, that thing is like glass. Holy shit.
Just wait until like the sun hits it. That's some
Dude, I know. This, holy crap. This thing is ridiculous. It doesn't even look like the same. I mean, obviously it doesn't look like the same car, but dude, it is so smooth too.
So what she told me is to don't touch the panels, like just give it like another day.
Okay.
So right now just, you know, use the doors, like
Yeah,
close them and open them. But that's pretty much it, you know, just want to make it cure, like good.
Oh my god, dude, it's such a nice deep red. Like, it's exactly what I was hoping for. And then yeah, he actually went ahead and we did this a little different. We didn't leave the exposed carbon, we just have just the little edges right there. And then he also recommended that we put a little exposed carbon right here in the skirt. There's a little accent right there which matches with the bottom carbon exposed. So I do have to polish up that bottom one. That one is a little hazy, but oh my god, dude, this thing is fucking nice.
We ceramic the whole car, the front headlights, the back headlights, the windows, everything.
Wow. No, it looks nice, and I'm glad my bodywork came out pretty good too.
I had to sand down a lot, like
okay.
even though like you know the bodywork, like the Bondo was still there, but you know like it looked like back then like there was an accident, so it's, you know, it's hard to get it like back to.
That color is so nice. I can't wait to see it tomorrow in the daylight.
Oh, yeah, trust me.
But like it almost has like a little bit of like a pink hue too, like just barely.
And camera, it looks kind of orange.
Really?
Yeah, I'll send you.
It kind of does, just a little bit. It almost looks like a scarlet, but yeah, no, that shit is.
So the shininess, like on the camera, doesn't show too much, but like.
Oh, it looks shiny on camera right now.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, you can.
I was doing it on my GoPro and
it looks super shiny right now. So, dude, this thing looks crazy. You really knocked it out of the park. The job looks great. The color's amazing. I'm happy. I want this.
One piece back.
Yeah, no seams showing. Just it literally looks like paint. Like, that's insane. I want to look at the front bumper really quick again. Yeah, dude, this thing is. I can't wait to get the carbon on at home.
Oh yeah.
Well, once I do that, it's gonna look completely different. But dude,
it looks like it's a. Without the lip, it looks like a monster truck.
It does, yeah.
But when you put it on, and it's like.
All right, guys, there she is, back at last. Your guys' first look at her, kind of in the daylight. But dude, the color is just phenomenal. So, if I'm not mistaken, this is Audi's Soul Red. I guess Mazda also has a Soul Red, but this is Audi's, I believe. Which is funny because I just seem to keep picking German colors for my cars. I had Laguna Seca Blue already on this, and the Dandelion Yellow, I don't know what the hell that was. But Soul Red from Esmo Wraps, and it looks like paint. It is just one of the glossiest wraps I've ever seen. This is one thing I really look for when I'm like shopping around for wraps, is I want it to look like paint. I'm not a huge fan of gloss wraps that you can tell it's a wrap, you know? Where this just looks like some slick ass paint. It literally looks like it just rolled out of a paint booth, and I couldn't be happier with it. Esmo's vinyl seems to be really high quality, so if you guys are looking for some, go shop for your next color for your car. Anyways, I just want to show you some details up close really quick, and I just want to put Cali Auto Design's magic on display. Like, he really knocked it out of the park. There's a difference, and I'm not trying to insult the yellow wrap, but there is a huge difference between the quality of this wrap job compared to the yellow. Like, he has improved so much. This is like unbelievably clean. One of the differences that we did on this was he recommended we actually just put the wrap on the carbon fiber and just expose the edges like that. And I like that because it's a little bit more sleek. It's a little bit more of like, not like a sleeper vibe, but like it looks more OEM, it looks more original, and it's just a lot sleeker. You got to like really pay attention to the little detail. And once you look at the car, there's carbon details everywhere. So we have the carbon there. We have the carbon in the headlights. So we have the carbon on the front lip. And then he also recommended we leave the exposed carbon on the bottom right there, just like the yellow wrap. But then we go an extra step further and have some exposed carbon in the actual duct of the side skirt itself. On top of that, we obviously did my favorite detail of the car. We left the bottom of the wing exposed. I love that so much because it is an OEM style wing, but it's the aftermarket carbon fiber version. So it just has that little extra detail of like, oh shit, you know, like this isn't factory, this is aftermarket. He also partially wrapped my door jambs, just what you could see. And even the wrap job in here is just A1. That way when the door is closed, I know everyone's probably cringing because I closed it with the glass. When I close my doors, by the way, I grab it from the side right here where you can't see, and then I just close it anyways. But yeah, so now it looks, like I said, like paint. Like this car looks like a paint job. He doesn't like putting seams anywhere, so there's no seams visible to the eye. You can't see a seam anywhere there because there's not one. the seams are all hidden up top. Same with the front bumper, which is just a work of art in my opinion. It looks like paint. There's no seams to the naked eye. You have to literally get on your hands and knees and look up here to see any seams, but there's no inlay. No inlays anywhere. And if you've ever tried wrapping a car, you know that's very difficult to pull off. But Miguel knocked it out. I am super happy with this. All of the lines are straight. All of the cuts look straight. The job is just perfect. Like, it couldn't have gone any more perfect. I do already have one rock chip from driving into that car meet today. I will be patching that up. I have some left over. But I'm honestly just like super happy with how the car turned out. I really do just want to make it clear. Huge shout out to Miguel at Cali Auto Design. If you guys are in SoCal and you want your car wrapped by who I personally think is one of the best, you got to go to him. He'll take care of you. He'll get your car looking right, and he won't cut corners, literally and figuratively. That's a good pun right there. Anyways, also, if you guys are looking for vinyl, look at Esmo Vinyl. I am beyond pleased. Like I said, it looks like paint. There's no denying that that looks like paint. I'm beyond pleased with that. I will link both of their pages and websites down below, so please check them out. Guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know down below. And also, do you approve of the color? Did I do the super justice? Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. Subscribe, and until next video, peace. All right, and don't think I forgot, guys. Here are the winners of the signed pieces of... Let's see. How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and today we are going to be exploring the deeper lore behind Paul Blart Mall Cop and the relationship he has between him and his daughter. We're going to be going on to the extended comic book series, The Adventures of Paul Blart, and just seeing what his backstory is and what made him the man we know and love. I'm joking, of course. All jokes aside, today we are going to be looking at a different group of clowns. Although one could say they are just as heavy, we're looking at Mopar boys. We're going to be taking a look at some Mopar boys who poorly modified their vehicles, and now they're trying to sell them. Mopar boys love to flex how much horsepower they have. They love to live that lifestyle of hashtag horsepower. But who's going to tell them a lot of horsepower on a big ass, heavy ass vehicle does not equal winning races? Somebody tell these 320 credit scores, 30% APR a month, have an ass that their cars ain't the shit. Anyways, we're going to look at some Mopar boys who riced out their vehicles. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Also, if you want me to do a video on other owners, such as maybe Mustang owners, Honda owners, Infiniti owners, go ahead and find some listings, send it to my Gmail, and put in the subject bar which owner you want flamed up next. Let's go ahead and dive right in. First car is a 2004 Chrysler Crossfire Coupe, 2-door. Oh boy, the Crossfire. Such a cool car, said no one ever. This was the car you got if you couldn't afford a Mercedes. You got the Chrysler Crossfire. And then this guy drove the piss out of it. 170,000 miles. He's asking $5,000, which is, that's pretty damn cheap. I ain't gonna lie. But I wouldn't trust any Chrysler with 170,000 miles. So this thing probably doesn't run. Anyways, let's look at these photos. First photo. All right, we got a cool little yellow lower grill, some yellow upper grill, kind of a cowl hood. I don't know. We'll have to look closer and see what that is. We got a cool banner. Oh God, this guy sure knows how to make a mean machine. Look at that cowl right there. What, this is before the Corvette ZR1? Did Corvette see this guy's build and take inspiration from it? He's got the black and yellow theme, which I guess fits the early 2000s theme. That lets me know, honestly, the first owner probably didn't modify this vehicle. The second owner probably modified this right when that song Black and Yellow was just top in the charts, because this thing is blinged out with some yellow spray paint. We got Sparko sticker, Gretty. We got some speed stickers. Nothing says your car's fast like speed. Like, if you look at every Lamborghini and Ferrari, they all have speed stickers on them from factory. You just can't see them because they are matching in the paint. But yeah, this guy just wants everyone to know, man, this this is a race car. Another Sparko sticker underneath his super functional canards. Sparko must have been a big investor in this car. They must have shelled out some big bucks to make sure this thing can win all the races. They got a big wing. And do these things have sunroofs? Do they have sunroofs? I see like a weather guard up there for a sunroof, but I don't remember if they have them or not. I've never looked into owning one, so I don't know the specs of these. Red spray painted brake calipers. I'd say that's one of everybody's first quote unquote modification. I wouldn't really call it a mod, but I did it. I did it to my V6, so I know what it was like. And boy, did I think it did something. I was like, damn, this thing looks mean now, man. This new Edge, oh, this V6 just went from 190 horsepower to like 190 horsepower. Jesus, that was dumb. Anyways, does he have a description? He does not. Wow, no description. Just no description needed. You see what you get. Do you want a race car? Do you have $5,000 you want to throw out? Huh, this is the car for you then. Like I said, I don't know what issues were prominent in these cars, so I don't know if $5,000 is a good price or a bad price. Like I said previously, and I will stand by it, I will not own a Dodge or Chrysler with 170,000 miles on it. Bye-bye. Next car, 2005 Dodge Magnum. $15,000, 3 times the price with a little bit more than half the miles. We got 107,000 miles. Not too bad, not too shabby, especially on the 05. That's not too bad at all. Let's take a look at these photos here. This was posted about a year ago. And as you can tell, no buyers yet. I wonder why. It's probably because people have taste. It looks like he has modern day Hellcat wheels on it, which in my opinion are a great looking wheel. I don't know about on the Slime 370 Hemi Nickelodeon mobile here. I don't know about on the Nickelodeon mobile. Don't know about that. At least this one does have the 6.1, which is, I guess, cool. If you are into slow ass motors, yeah, go for it. He also is calling it Slime for some reason. Oh God, what is this shit underneath here? You're just emphasizing that you're driving an automatic, which I mean is fine, because most Dodges do not come with a manual. So I mean it's whatever. But God, this is like the ugliest combination you could have done. Why would you want your piece of shit Dodge to stand out and make it bright green? Like, why would you want that? That is like the one thing I wouldn't want to do. And then to do the Wolverine scratch marks as well. Go figure, of course. Like, come on. Like, does anybody really like this up front? Does anyone really see this and think that that looks good? We saw a lot of those in a previous episode, and I don't see the appeal. Like, never will I. This guy really likes fucking green, too. Somebody show this guy the Hulk, and he'll change his whole lifestyle. Dodge was really generous by giving you 180 mile per hour speedo. That is serious generosity right there. There's no way in hell this piece of shit wagon's hitting 180. I actually like Magnums. Like, I think they're cool. I think you could do some cool things to them, but this guy said, yeah, you probably could, and then did everything opposite of that. Like, I'm trying to see one redeeming quality that this guy did to his car, and I really can't. Yeah, the two-tone wheels. What kind of tires does he have? Did he at least put good tires? The Firehawks? I heard those are mid tires. Yeah, there's not one redeeming quality. And I haven't even mentioned the Lambo doors because I'm so just like numb to them. It doesn't even surprise me anymore. Dodge owners with Lambo doors. If you own a Dodge, you're probably never going to own a Lambo. And if you own a Dodge, also don't put Lambo doors on your Dodge. Let's read his description. So I just noticed he unlisted it, decided to keep it himself. No descript. Bro, can somebody tell me about their damn car? This is bullshit, man. I'm furious. I'm fuming. This pisses me off. All right. Well, I'll just make a description for him. Selling my 2005 Dodge Magnum. This shit goes hard. If you want babes, good for you, because you could carry all of them with this baddie right here. Yeah, the 180 tack isn't quite enough. I'm usually maxing that thing out on a daily. The two-tone wheels, they're not actually two-toned. I accidentally just went so fast around the track that I burnt off the paint on one. Lambo doors because hashtag I'm exotic. Wolverine did get his hands on this one, but I kicked his ass afterwards. $15,000 is honestly just a down payment. I require $30. Take it or leave it. I know what I have. Moving on. 2006 Dodge Charger SRT8 sedan 4-door. Okay, cool. SRT8. I like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that right there. And I mean, this first photo doesn't look too depressing. I don't know why it looks like somebody chopped his springs, but I'm sure we'll see. 175,000 miles. Holy moly. Are Dodges more reliable than I actually think? Are they? Or are these people just not able to sell them and then they're just stuck with them for life? It's one or the other. Anyways, 170. Jesus Christ, that's so many miles. 175,000 miles. $6,295. It's pretty specific. Anyways, let's dive right in. First photo. Two things you should notice here. K&N sticker and some cheap ass taillights. That's pretty much all I'm grasping from this first one. Oh, dude, this thing, the more I look at it, this thing is more of just a little riced out little AutoZone build than you would imagine. Like, look at all the little fucking knickknacks he put around it. Look at the little splashes and these little What even is this? What would you call this back here? Fucking tumor, that's what I would call it. Wannabe side skirt. Like, this is half a side skirt. Dude could not afford the full side skirt. The tail lights, and then look at this is just I hate when I see dumbasses do this. They put a wicker bill on the OEM wing, which makes no sense, and I'll explain that in a second. Oh god, it gets worse. It gets worse. Front bumper does not match. Weather guards. Somebody hit this piece of shit. I don't blame them. Probably was just trying to get it to end up in a junkyard somewhere. Like I said, don't blame them. Oh, let's take a look at this wing right here. You see why this wing doesn't make sense? Now let me explain this really quick. What is this doing? Okay, what is this wicker bill doing? The air is going to choose the path of least resistance. And for actual spoilers like this, they typically flow under. Like, you get downforce from flowing under the wing. Putting this on top of the wing is not doing anything except slowing you down. If it's even doing that. And it looks stupid too. It's so dumb. Anyways, it's got racing stripes. Definitely earned those out in the streets. Oh my god, holy duct tape. What is going on here? A third of this front bumper is duct tape. Also spray painted too. You had enough time to duct tape your front bumper, spray paint it, and then put racing stripes back on top of it instead of just fixing it or replacing it. Like, what the fuck is going on here? This thing deserves a salvage title. And what's up with Dodge owners destroying their interiors too? Like, this is the tackiest interior I've ever seen. We got sticker bombs. We got red trim. We got red floor mats. A stupid fucking steering wheel cover. I hate those. Those are just janky as all hell. But he got that Sony though. Ayo, watching all the movies on the flat screen. Look at that dirty ass, crusty ass fucking shit. Just take it off, man. If it protected your steering wheel and your steering wheel's in great condition, just take it off. You'll have better luck selling it. Like, why'd you provide a photo of your musty ass fucking steering wheel cover? You really don't want to sell this car, do you? Anyways, back to square one. Yeah, this thing's a piece of shit. This is the shittiest fucking car we've seen so far. And it's like, this dude didn't even get the right silver. He got gray. He got Nardo gray spray paint. And then didn't mask off anything, just spray. Oh, God. People are fucking stupid. Anyways, 2006 Dodge SRT8 6.1 liter. 175,000 miles. Runs and drives good. Doubtful. Leather seats, sunroof, no leaks. Asking 6,200. Don't care. Serious buyers only. There's none of those going around here, okay? None. Thank God he didn't put back on the Wolverine scratch marks. Oh, I would have lost my shit. I would have lost my shit, man. I would have DM'd this guy personally and said, no. That's all I would have said. 6,200 bucks. Come get it. Next car. This one's sold. I wonder for how much. Does it actually say? Anyways, 107,000 miles. And it looks like this. Oh, God. All right. Well, let's take a look at it. It's a V8, 5.7 liter. Cool. At least so far, I think every car, maybe except for the first one, was a V8, which is great. I don't know what the theme of this car is. It kind of looks like if, oh, God, I hate when people do that to the license plates, bro. Like, you're just asking to get a ticket. Anyways, it's kind of like if Spider-Man grew up in, like, East LA. I guess maybe, like, you know, he didn't grow up, you know, in the nicest neighborhoods. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is a hood Spider-Man right here. Spider-Hood. I'm just trying to make Spider-Man jokes because it's red and blue. That's all I got. Dang, that's an angry shifter right there. Dude, the babes you're going to scare out the babes with that, man. When they climb in and they see that, they're going to get spooked. And once again, a steering wheel cover. What is with Mopar owners in these fucking lame-ass steering wheel covers? How many miles did it have? 107,000 miles? Ugh. Yeah, man, this is pretty fucking ugly. Dog shit wheel choice. Horrible graphics. Like, I like my Mustang and I like my Supra and all that shit, but I would never put a gigantic, like, Ford logo on my car or, like, a Toyota logo or something. I don't think I'd do that. This is a bit much. Like, you bought the 5.7 liter, good for you. But this ain't no 6.1. This ain't no SRT8. This is just the RT with the shitty eBay taillights. Hey, it's sold, though. That's something this guy can say that no one else can in this episode, so it is what it is. And I wouldn't even say it's really riced out. I would just say it's fucking ugly. Something that, like, Exhibit would do on Pimp My Ride. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know down below. I am exhausted. I am going to be working on the Mustang today. Don't know if I will be recording it, though, just because I'm doing some welding and stuff. Nothing super exciting. Anyways, subscribe. Send me listings of other car manufacturers. And until next video, peace. Facebook Marketplace has to be one of the largest cesspools of garbage, especially when it comes to used cars. If you guys have ever searched for a used car on Facebook, how is it going, guys? Drew Peacock. How is it going, guys? Drew. Go back up, back up, back up, back up. How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and today we are going to be going to a few car events. I'm thinking cars and coffee to start the day, and then probably a ratchet car meet to end the day. We will be taking the Supra, of course, to cars and coffee, and then maybe the Mustang to the other car meet later. I'll have to see how I feel. The Supra is just a little too nice right now, and I don't really want it to get messed up at a car meet or something like that. So I don't think it would, but I don't want it to happen. So anyways, we're gonna take this. We'll head out. I did turn on a little image stabilizer. I'm gonna put it on for now, and then tonight I'll turn it off just to see if I see a difference. I don't know. Let me know. Comment down below. Anyways, let's go. Brian, you're taking the coffee out of cars and coffee.
I know. Dude, that Starbucks line over there is long.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
that Starbucks takes the cars out of the out of the meat.
Cars and coffee, yeah. So, still waiting on his parts.
I haven't ordered anything.
Yeah, well, still waiting on the money then.
Still waiting on the money. Well, I want to fix the IS first.
Yeah.
That way I have less broken shit boxes.
Welcome to the club. We have his boy's Kia Stinger right there, which is what, like full bolt-on E85 or E60 or something?
Yeah, the thing, it's not E85 yet, but it's got methanol, so it's cooler temperatures to make up that difference.
That's cool.
For the E.
That's pretty much right.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then this piece of shit. And then we got the sick Hyundai. No.
Yeah, he's pulling up too.
Yeah, the Hyundai's coming too. No, I'm joking. But yeah, another car looks good. I mean, I think the dust came off when I pulled it out of the garage this morning. It was covered in dust because I hadn't driven it in like weeks, and it looks clean. So I think the dust came off. I think that ceramic shit actually kind of works. So let's go to Cars and Coffee.
It does, I think it.
Sounds clean. And then he got the poor man's Lamborghini.
The drop.
It's still Lamborghini.
All
right, guys, we just got to Cars and Coffee. We're gonna do a lap, walk around, see what there is. I think I saw an E-Ray pulling in. Might be a Z06, so we're gonna try to find that car and look at it. I haven't seen either of those in person, so I'm curious how it looks compared to a normal C8 Corvette. So let's go walk around. All right, so here's the two side by side. Here is the Z06. It's not an E-Ray, it is a Z06. Comes with better wheels in my opinion. There's actually some shape to them. We have the Z06 badge right here. The rear wheel, like I said, good enough to be an aftermarket wheel, yet alone it is stock. Has some nice concave to it. There's a pile of shit right there that I stepped in a second ago looking at the car. And then the rear of the car, I think it is missing a wing. I can't use a wing like the two C8s right there. But still, have not seen a Z06 in person yet. And first impressions, it's pretty sweet. His fuel door is open. His fuel door is 100% open. It's hard to tell, but the base C8 is not as thick. I don't think we'll be able to see it as clear right here. Maybe. I mean, you can see these two. They're kind of straight up and down with their cuts. And then we'll go to the Z06. You could also see the base C8 wheels are a lot more just straight up and down. There's not really much shape to them. They're just really flat. And that's one of my biggest complaints with the C8, where the Z06 is a tad thicker and has a bit more shape to it. Again, hard to tell, but it is noticeable. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, it was a little too early for me to put on the Drew Peacock persona. I'm gonna keep it transparent with you. I didn't feel like talking or filming while I was there. 8 a.m. is just a little too early for me. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna voice this over. All right, first car was this rat rod with some of the prettiest headlights I've ever seen. Because the headlights were replaced with turbos with filters, somewhat of filters. Anyways, we have a twin turbo LS, I'm guessing. It looks like some sort of Chevy motor, giant turbo with a little turbo guard. The interior, probably not the most comfortable thing, but when you're rolling around in a thing that looks like it's 99% rust, I mean, what do you expect? He has his radiator mounted to the rear. He has big old Mickey Thompson ET Street R's. This thing looks like it gets down, and my boy Brian was saying that I should build one of these. I would love to, but that looks expensive, and I don't have the room right now. Maybe after I sell a couple cars, I'd be down. What's a good old Cars and Coffee without a little Corvette action? There were plenty of these, a lot of brochures laid out as well, but a C6ZR1, in my opinion, one of, if not the best Corvette ever produced. I love the C6. Maybe it's because I grew up right around that time, but the C6 is just so iconic in my opinion, and he did have one of the weirdest looking exhausts. I don't know why he threw on some sort of wrapped suppressor from Call of Duty, but yeah, I wonder how it sounded. I kind of wish I heard it, but very nice looking track car. C6 Corvette equals best Corvette, don't at me. Mark III Supras that aren't a piece of shit? Now that's not an everyday sight, I know. This one was in pretty good shape. It was on some ESRs. The paint was immaculate. I wonder if it was a respray. It looked like a manual. I did not see any intercooler or anything underneath the hood. It might be boosted, it might not, but I didn't really check. I was just really impressed with how good of shape this is. God, I wish I could find one in this good of shape. Throw in a 2JZ and call it a day. This had to have been one of the most impressive cars at Cars and Coffee. It's a 427 swapped Volkswagen Beetle, front engine, rear wheel drive, madman fucking car right here. You have to have a nutsack the size of some bowling balls to drive this thing around. There was no space on the interior. There was no space in the wheel well. He somehow managed a 335 in the rear. Don't know how. Looks like it's got a drag wing on the rear. I mean, dude, this thing is just absolutely insane. I don't know how he managed to do it, but if there's a will, there's a way, and this guy made it happen. Hadn't seen this car before, and I was really pleased to see this there. Cars and Coffee is not all junk, and that's why I enjoy going to those. Regular car meets, as we'll see later on, majority is junk. Although I did record some pretty good builds there, so you'll have to stick around. But look at the interior, no room in whatsoever. The motor, fits snug, tiniest little belt ever, and somehow he made it work. Very impressive car. There are a lot of cars at these Cars and Coffees, and a lot of people say, Drew, you missed out on a lot of good builds. If I stopped and recorded every single car that was nice, I'd be here for hours, literally, and the video would be for hours. It's just impossible. Then we got this bad boy right here. Sick. Glad you popped the hood. Anyways, Mustang Roush Stage 3. I don't see too many Roushes in person. I seem to see them all the time at Cars and Coffee, but I never see them driving around. So they must just spawn at Cars and Coffee. The old men that buy them, they must just leave them there overnight. I think this was the only 3-valve there, and I was really interested to see what was going on, and it was a whole lot of nothing. But it did have a brochure. I was interested in it. I was like, oh, I'm going to walk around this car really quick and see that brochure. We had a soft top. It was in, I guess, grabber orange, which is a nice color. It's not bad. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty nice. I don't like the soft top. I don't think many people do. But I was like, all right, let's see what his brochure says. I'm kind of curious. Let's see what it says. He's hyping up his GTCS, number 40-something of who cares. Sick. I'm glad you kept it stock. This guy, however, don't look too stock to me. Now, it is a Super Snake. I guess they come with the Kenny Bell Mammoth on top. But still, if I'm going to have a stock car, it's going to be something like this, you know, a Shelby of some sort. That's one thing that a lot of people ask me, Drew, should I buy a Shelby GT500 or a Mustang and supercharge it? If you're just going to leave it stock and you just want to be one and done, just buy the Shelby. Just buy the Shelby. One and done. You can keep your warranty if you buy a certain year. And it's going to be reliable for the most part and put down good power. If you want to go crazy, you could still buy the Shelby, but I mean, you can make more power for cheaper with just a Mustang GT, depending on the year, like I said. But this is a very clean Super Snake. Hadn't seen an S197 Super Snake in quite some time. Trying to figure out what catches my eye, and then I saw the 720 right here in that nice burnt copper color. Look at that. Look at the fitment. Look at it aired out. Oh my God, it's got rift carbon fiber all over it. Absolutely beautiful. Now I know he wishes he had a 12C, and if this guy wants to trade, I might consider it. Go ahead and hit my DMs if you want my 12C, but all jokes aside, absolutely beautiful. One of the best looking supercars there, and I really enjoyed taking a look at it. It was clean. Now let's move on to some JDM cars. We got this clean Evo right here, Volk TE37s all the way around. Beautiful fitment, beautiful wheel and tire setup. Looks like a driver, not something he just pulls up and parks. At least I hope not, because this thing looks like so much fun. I want one. I mean, I'm happy I have the Subi, but this just looks a little bit smaller, a little bit more nimble, a little bit more capable, and it is a Mitsubishi. So it can make more power. It just breaks down probably just as much as a Subaru though. Next Mustang had its hood up, so we had to do a hood check. Checking underneath the hood. Warranty is still intact. I will report it to Ford. Thank you for showing me that. He had this really thick, wide body kit. I was a little like, those wheels, I know they're not that big. Let's see what kind of tire we got on this bad boy. It's a 295. or 285. It's not that big. He has like a 6-inch spacer though. Look at that thing. Poor axles, dude. That drivetrain is tired, man. That thing is exhausted. He's like, please let me just race. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do this. Please. Yeah, I mean, personally, if it was me and I was building a wide body car like that, I would just get the correct offset and not do giant spacers like that. Some people say it's really dangerous. I don't think it's that dangerous, but I just wouldn't do it like that. Next up, we had a Prelude with a makeshift wing. The wing itself wasn't makeshift, but the mounts were. The mounts were very makeshift, and they were very obvious. I think this guy tagged me on a story. No disrespect, but you made it fit. You made the wing fit, sort of. I mean, it sort of fits. Just maybe trim the middle and like weld it in the middle. You also made this tow hook fit. If there's a will, there's a way, and he made it fit. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a Prelude. It drives. It made it to the meet. More than most cars can say. All right, guys, we got back. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go relax, and then we'll take her out later tonight. I'll see you guys then. Alright, time for the car meet. First car was this big body Lexus with some nice 3-piece wheels, but on the inside he had the Peacock. It was a memorial piece for me. Thank you so much. I'm glad I have inspired you some way. It's probably has nothing to do with me, but still very cool to see Peacock on a car anyways. Every hood I tried to go look at, this hood was popped on this G, and I mean, there's intakes, I guess. The G itself was actually like pretty clean. I like the wheel setup. The fitment was all right. I mean, it's better than poking out. I'd rather it be sunken in a little bit than poking out, but the body itself was in pretty good shape. Surprising nowadays. These things are usually clapped out, and this thing completely out of its element. What the hell are you doing here, buddy? We have a Chevelle SS at a ratchet ass car meet. What the hell are you doing here, my boy? Anyways, this thing was absolutely beautiful. My boy and I were talking about it for a minute, just looking at it. We were just like in awe that this thing actually pulled up. I mean, he just parked in the middle of the aisle, and I don't blame him. I mean, I would do the same shit. What the fuck? I'm not going in a parking spot in this car. You could eat my ass. Next car was this Mark V Super. Nothing really impressive about the car itself, but it is in the Inazitec blue that I was going to do on the Supra before I chose the red. I just wanted to show you guys. You can see that little pink shimmer, and that was kind of like the little selling point that I liked. I liked that it had that little shimmer to it. So it looked like just a normal baby blue, but it has that little pearl in it. That was kind of cool. Color itself was fine. I mean, it works fine on the Mark V, but I'm kind of happy I didn't put it on my Mark IV. I don't think it would have worked with the body style. Next car, we have a Mustang with his hood up, so we got to do a hood check. Underneath the hood, we have a Vortec or Paxton. I forgot. I can't read it. The text is so small. It's a centrifugal supercharger. It goes like this. Whoosh, whoosh, you know, like, you know, blowy air, sucky. It does that. It pushes air. Now, he didn't really have a crazy tire. I think it was a Nitto. Again, I didn't want to go bother him. He was standing back there. I'm a shy cat, okay? I'm not really one to go and just stare at this dude point blank. Next hood check was on the Celica, and underneath the hood, oh, I could still smell the fresh spray paint. You actually could smell it. It was either his actual paint on his car, or it was that. I mean, it looked brand new. It looked like he had just painted it that afternoon, so I wouldn't doubt it. With the heat of the engine, it you know, made it smell like fresh paint. The car needs some fresh paint, though. Paint your car. Next car was a Shelby GT500 with its hood up. So I did a baby little hood check, because it was like, it wasn't up all the way. It was just a little baby hood check. Underneath the hood, I mean, yeah, it was Shelby. Might as well. Go buy one right now. Go buy one. Z01? Nah, Shelby GT500, baby. Go get one right now. I didn't know it was a Shelby until I walked up to it, honestly. That's why I don't like black cars. You can't see all the detail. I really couldn't tell that it was a Shelby until I walked right up to it. Speaking of Shelbys, why not the GT350? It's younger brother, or older brother, I guess, because it came out earlier. But yeah, I love these GT350s. I don't like when people whipple them and stuff. I think it's just a great track car as is. It's like getting a Camaro Z28. Like, yeah, you could throw a big blower on that. Yeah, you could throw turbos on that, but it's a great track car as it is so well balanced. It's a sin to do anything else. Last car before the event that you guys all want to see was this SC300. Rarely see SC300s that I do like, and this one was clean. I mean, I don't think it was on TE37s. Those might have been the He 37s, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. Everyone's got to start somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it was in good shape. My boy Alex needs to remove his wide body because I like it better without it. Although it's not my car. Anyways, now let's take a look at this guy who definitely regrets doing a burnout.
Yo! Yo, fire! Yo, my car's on fire! Yo! Yo, who has a fucking fire extinguisher? Go!
Yo, back up, back up, back up, back up.
Fire extinguisher!
Oh.
No! Fuck! 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 Anyone got water? Water! No, water! Fuck! Water, please! I need water! Water! No! Water, please! Water, please! No, water! No!
Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, Drew, why didn't you go over there and help him? What could I have done? I can't put out a fire by looking at it. I didn't have any water. I didn't need to take a piss. So there was really nothing I could have done except document. So I was just working as the press right there, doing a little journalism, you know, putting my degree to use, which I don't have. I don't have a degree, by the way. But yeah, you know, I was in awe, honestly. I literally didn't even, like, I couldn't comprehend what was going on. I was just staring at it like, damn, this shit's on fire. I thought his car was going to go up completely because I thought the trunk liner inside was going to just light and then the interior, I thought it was done. But no, they put it out somehow and then ruined the car meet for everyone. Anyways, guys, after that, the cops came. It got ratchet. It's time to leave. He kind of ruined it for everyone because the fire department got called, and so of course a swarm of cops came, kicked everyone out. So we couldn't really walk around anymore. Yeah. So we were not at this meet for that long. It was honestly disappointing. The Cars and Coffee was much better, although there was no car on fire at Cars and Coffee. So that's one thing this meet did have over it. Now, I don't know why everyone runs like an idiot when the cops come. Like, it's not that serious. They can't arrest all of you, so I don't know what the point of that is. But this Pontiac G8, that's serious. That tire right there is serious. He means business. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe that'll be a lesson to not do like long ass burnouts or something at a car meet. I didn't hear the burnout, so I don't know if that's what he did, but that's the only thing that makes sense. Unless someone just ripped one stinky ass fart right next to his wheel and his brakes were hot or something, but I can't think of another explanation. Luckily, this guy's got an excuse. He was just delivering pizza, so he's good. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know down below. Subscribe, and until next video, peace.
Hi guys, I'm
Monsters of the seas were long thought to be held famous so many Atlant. Human mind growing rhinoceroses of 20,000.
Hi everyone, welcome to Edge of Wonder with Ben and Rob. When we were researching the Loch Ness Monster, we realized that this story goes way deeper and further back than we realized.
Oh yeah.
Back before the monster tale even became so well known.
Yeah, and we realized that Aleister Crowley
Of course.
tied up in the Loch Ness Monster story, which started us down a crazy rabbit hole that we wanted to share with all of you. We wanted to really expose Crowley because there are some people out there who think that he was greatly misunderstood or that the media had some sort of personal vendetta against him.
For those of you who are still not sure, let's jump right in. Just listen to what Crowley wrote in a letter to his brother-in-law, Gerald Kelly. Crowley wrote, "I say today, to hell with Christianity, rationalism, Buddhism, all the lumber of the centuries. I bring you a positive and primeval fact, magic by name, and with this I will build me a new heaven and a new earth. I want none of your faint approval or faint dispraise. I want blasphemy, murder, rape, revolution, anything bad or good but strong." Wow.
Sounds like somebody you want to invite to your grandma.
Sounds like really disturbed emo from 1997.
I have no idea. Really though, this is spoken like someone who truly wants to be the Antichrist. For the next 2 years, Crowley began his quest to become a black magician and started searching for the right group that could help him on this dark journey.
The House of Slytherin.
Finally, he found what he was looking for with the Golden Dawn Secret Society.
It was after joining the Golden Dawn Order that Aleister Crowley began calling himself the Beast 666.
Literally the Antichrist.
He wanted the Order to take him seriously, but no one did. This made Crowley grow increasingly frustrated with the group.
Crowley tried to take over the Golden Dawn group, but failed. So instead, he left the Order to pursue his darker desires. What made Crowley different from some of the other members was that he was willing to do anything to get what he wanted, including using any force or black magic to become the most powerful person ever in the history.
Crowley's mind was so bent on power that he decided to perform the darkest and most evil ritual he could find. One that was so dark, he couldn't even find anyone, including other black magicians, who had ever performed it in living memory. Abramelin magic.
If you're thinking that this sounds something straight out of Harry Potter, you're not too far off. In fact, it made me wonder if this is really where J.K. Rowling got some of her inspiration for Voldemort. But this point in Crowley's journey is where the story gets super crazy, weird, and absolutely mind-blowing.
The Abramelin ritual Crowley wanted to do was going to take 6 months to perform. So we needed to find the perfect place to do it. And guess where he thought the best place was? Yep, Loch Ness. This is why he purchased the Bullskin House in the Scottish Highlands.
Crowley made the purchase in 1899 and reportedly paid more than twice the price of what it was worth because he wanted it so badly.
Actually sounds like he's trying to buy a house now somewhere in the United States.
Seriously, in the housing market today. He felt that it was the perfect location since at the time it was very remote with the nearest neighbor a whopping 8 miles away.
But believe it or not, the Book of Abramelin isn't an instruction book on evil. A mage named Abramelin had told of his encounter with an angel who explained to him how every person in the world has an angel and a demon around them, which he called familiars or shape-shifting demonic animal spirits that assist in spell-casting rituals.
Just like that movie, or that book,
Golden Compass.
The Golden Compass.
Yeah. Every human is guided by the animal manifestation of their soul, their demon.
That's odd. She acted as though she'd never seen a person's demon before. Come on, Pan.
The book itself was written in the 1400s by a man who met Abramelin and said that he was a God-fearing man who stressed the importance of living in the way and law of the Lord, and warned about the evils of acquiring riches and goods.
Abramelin claimed that all things in the world were created by demons who worked under the direction of angels. Which sounds kind of weird, but Christianity mentions the 7 deadly sins, which some say are manifestations of demons. And the Book of Solomon, actually, he controlled demons with the ring.
With the ring, yeah. And Buddhism actually describes how many things, including certain emotions, are under the control of demons too. So this might be why religions warn people not to give in to temptation.
As for Abramelin, though, he became an expert in the Kabbalah, which is what some secret societies use in their mystical teachings. In any case, we don't encourage anyone to read the Abramelin, let alone to perform any rituals in the book.
So the ritual Crowley was after was actually about being able to conjure demons and tame them into personal servants and workers. And again, that's just like Solomon using his ring to control demons.
Which we talk about in our Ring of Power episode on Rise.tv, so definitely check that out.
This book states that in order to do this ritual, you have to have months of purification while letting go of all treasures, wants, and desires in any kind of love.
But what kinds of skills was Crowley looking to download via a demon? Some of the supernatural abilities in the book include traveling through the air,
being able to breathe and walk underwater,
raising armies out of thin air,
transforming one's appearance,
becoming invisible, starting storms, and even raising the dead.
As for the ritual Crowley was going to perform to try to control demons, the first thing that the author stated in the Book of Abramelin was that no one should ever perform this ritual. Maybe because he knew that summoning demons into this world, especially from someone who wants to be the Antichrist, probably isn't
not the best idea. No.
I mean, come on.
But the real danger of the ritual was if it was not done correctly, then you would get possessed by the demons that you were summoning, and instead of using them, they would use you for their desires.
Remember, the ritual was supposed to take 6 months to perform, which is probably another reason why no one at this point ever tried to do it. And maybe why Crowley picked Loch Ness to do it on.
In the comic book and Netflix series Sandman, this is exactly what they try to do. Summon the demon or god of death and make him a slave. In the TV series Supernatural, they do a similar thing by having one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the god of death, be controlled by a ring.
So did these shows' creators draw their inspiration from what Crowley was trying to do? And what about Crowley himself? Did he ever succeed?
Well, in his book, The Confessions of Aleister Crowley, an autohagiography, which is him calling himself a saint, isn't it?
Yes, he's calling himself a saint in his book.
More like Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Crowley said that he and Lindsay Lohan partially succeeded with the Abramelin ritual and brought it in a host of demons, some of which even materialized and brought disturbances and damage to the local townspeople.
Honestly, Lindsay Lohan has been through a lot, so we're not trying to say too much about it.
I think people know we're joking.
We're joking here, we're joking. Because this gets kind of serious. Because remember, this was all happening on Loch Ness, so this gets stranger and stranger. One story we found was about a man Crowley hired for general labor around his land on Loch Ness. Supposedly, this man went mad and tried to kill Crowley.
Another story was about a local butcher who accidentally cut off his own hand while reading Crowley's notes. However, Crowley didn't want to stop the ritual. In his book, he wrote about what happened as he continued. Besides these comparatively explicable effects on the human minds, there were numberless physical phenomena for which it's hard to account. While I was preparing the talismans, a task which I undertook in the sunniest room in the house, I had to use artificial light even on the brightest days. It was a darkness which might almost be felt. The lodge and terrace, moreover, soon became populated with shadowy shapes, sufficiently substantial as a rule to be almost opaque. I say shapes, and yet the truth is that they were not shapes properly speaking. The phenomena is hard to describe. It was as if the faculty of vision suffered some interference, as if the objects of vision were not properly objects at all. It was as if they belonged to an order of matter which affected the sight without informing it.
So to summarize here, when Crowley was doing this ritual, the room he was in almost became pitch black, even if it was daylight outside and he had to light candles.
Or it was his imagination. But what was the whole point of the ritual? Well, Crowley was trying to converse with his guardian angel, or true self, as it was written in his book. Unfortunately, Crowley's understanding of what a pure human soul is was way off track.
Way off track. So years later, he thought he finally achieved contact with this being. But this is where the story gets even weirder, if you can believe it, with aliens. Because Loch Ness just isn't weird enough.
Yeah, they had to make an appearance at some point, right?
Yes.
In 1904, since apparently life wasn't weird enough on the Scottish Loch as the demons of darkness gathered around him, Crowley supposedly summoned contact with an alien being. He said it was named Aiwas, or Lamb, and he even had a drawing of this thing.
This is the being that Crowley said told him what to write in his book, the Book of the Law. And that book became the basis for the occult Thelema religion, where Crowley dubbed himself a prophet. Ever heard of Crowley's famous line, "Do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law"? The tenet for their dark religion came from this AWAS being, who looks similar to a typical gray alien with a large head.
If you really want your hair to stand up on the back of your necks, check out what we found. We looked as best as we could and realized that up until this point in history, before Crowley's encounter with the demonic entity Lamb or AWAS, did you know there was actually no accounts of contact with the Greys anywhere?
This is the part that I was like, this is pretty mind-blowing. So, did Crowley inadvertently cause the unfortunate arrival of the Greys in our world? We don't know for sure, and we may never know. But as for my personal opinion on the matter, I wouldn't write this off. After all, he was trying to summon demons into this world from other dimensions, so he was literally asking for it.
Yeah. This is something I never even thought of until Ben and I started to talk about this.
You overlook the unpleasant alternative of punishment.
The first mention of the Greys that we could find was actually, surprise, surprise, while Crowley was alive.
In 1893, H.G. Wells wrote an essay called The Man of the Year Million, a scientific forecast of how human beings in the future will have degraded to have small bodies with larger brains and no hair.
Basically, Aleister Crowley is really skinny. Of course, H.G. Wells was being directly influenced by transhumanists like the Huxleys when he wrote things like this. And if you want to know the truth about cloning hybrids, robots, genetic manipulation, eugenics, and the Huxleys, we broke down the truth about transhumanism in our series and used about 100 80s movies references, so check that out.
Prior to H.G. Wells' 1890s reference to Greys, we don't really find any mention of them in history. Now, the Anunnaki of ancient Egypt supposedly had large skulls too, but they were described very differently from Grey aliens. So was Crowley responsible for actually summoning them here?
From deeper in your mind, there are things even more unpleasant.
But let's talk more about Crowley's life and rituals on Loch Ness. He supposedly gave up on the 6-month ritual because he would need to get up every morning at 3 a.m. to start it, and the only things he was allowed to consume were bread and water. Soon, Crowley met Rose Edith Kelly. They got married right away, and he just left the ritual altogether to go to Egypt for their honeymoon.
But is that really the end of the story, or did Aleister Crowley let in some demonic monster-like or interdimensional beings to the Loch Ness area? Now, according to the journalist Frederick William Holliday, who spent decades researching the facts about the monster, that might have well been the case.
After the 1930s Nessie sightings that first set off everyone's interest in the Loch Ness Monster, Holliday dedicated the rest of his life to finding the creature.
I've been going up to Loch Ness now for 7 years, spending anything from 3 weeks to as much as 2 months up there, keeping observation on the loch with binoculars and camera, trying to get a good picture of this phenomena that everyone talks about.
He claimed to have seen Nessie, or at least some unidentified things. For years, Holliday said that Nessie was a physical animal similar to an extinct invertebrate that lived during the dinosaurs. He also noticed some paranormal activity on Loch Ness, including reports of UFOs.
In fact, the now famous Calvine UFO photo was taken in Scotland. Scotland is known to have some insane UFO activity, especially around Loch Ness from what we've heard.
This made Holliday think that Nessie might not be some ancient creature that's still here now, but instead more of an interdimensional kind of being with a paranormal aspect to it, kind of like Bigfoot. In conjunction with whatever it was that Aleister Crowley was trying to do, I mean, could that be possible?
Now, we know this might sound crazy here, but it's our job on Edge of Wonder to think about the really insane, crazy stuff. What if Crowley managed to open up some kind of gateway or portal with his rituals? Then, if a portal existed, couldn't the dimension that got connected to ours be in a different time period?
I mean, it could be millions of years ago in Nessie's dimension, but then she swims through an underwater gate opened by a crazy demon summoner named Aleister Crowley and finds herself traveling through time, but still in Loch Ness somehow. And we're all just as confused as you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Would that explain why people can't find Nessie or see her when they want to? Of course, the big problem with this theory is that it wouldn't explain any Nessie sightings before Crowley, but we also don't know what it is they saw. After all, they were talking about creatures that were walking on land, whereas Nessie doesn't seem to have legs, so...
And man, I can't tell if this is one of the most mind-blowing and original ideas we've ever had, or if this is one of the most ludicrous. Either way, I'm super fascinated by the origins of the Loch Ness Monster, as is Ben.
Yeah, for sure. And supposedly the area his home was on was already messed up energetically before he even bought it. And then he made the place a whole lot worse.
And did you know that Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin actually bought that Moleskin house in the 1970s because he was fascinated with Crowley? He ended up selling because he was experiencing so many paranormal events in and around the house.
All of this could also explain all the strange and unusual sightings of things across many of the lochs in Scotland. Want to hear about the strangest ones we've came across?
Yes, we do. And by the way, if you want to learn more about that Jimmy Page stuff, buying Aleister Crowley's Moleskin, you should check out our Celebrity Possession series, which is on Rise TV as well. See, this is why I have a hard time when it comes to blindly trusting the science, because clearly these guys don't know what the heck this mystery creature is.
We don't know why the original was taken down, but it is now.
And that's what makes this video the most compelling video we have ever seen of Nessie, because he wasn't trying to record it.
But if this doesn't have you believing in the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, then I don't know what else would, because something is clearly there in that video. Alright, let's try this. Alright, there we go. That should be good. I turned those on, so you should be able to hear us now.
Controlled by a ring.
Death. I said dead.
Thanks. Both, so. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Besides these comparative... Okay.
This is
Crowley talking, right?
Yeah, this is Crowley talking, yeah.